You've got to play both ends, Dale, and I know it's their favourite end to go second half, but Yeovil have won the toss. Absolutely, I'd do exactly the same. I'd turn them around.
We talk about the fact you and I don't have the best of records together. Are we going to blame the coin toss?
Absolutely, absolutely.
Oh yeah, Mark Clifford and I worked out that we've not seen a win together yet this season, Boston United fans, so I apologise in advance. But we're going to break that curse today. It's Boston United to get us underway here on BBC Radio Lincolnshire. Reminder, Lincoln City winning the early kick-off by 3-1 against Stockport, which sees them go 7 clear of Cardiff and 15 points clear of Bolton in third. At the moment, Cardiff and Bradford in fourth are in action this afternoon. We'll keep an eye on them results as Boston United get us underway with plenty of reaction to come from that Lincoln City game at half-time and full-time of this game with Michael Horton, with Scott on the Breakfast Show on Monday and Red Inks Club. There is so much reaction to come from a wonderful afternoon for Lincoln City, but it's Boston United against Yeovil that takes our focus on BBC Radio Lincolnshire for the next couple of hours, and the Pilgrims have the ball with Gallagher, goes back to Rooney, back to a 4. They played with a 3 last week. Barrington plays that ball forward towards Curzons, but Yeovil have won it back, and Yeovil have got those shirts on where it's very hard to see the names and numbers.
Impossible, actually. I can't see one.
I don't actually know if they've got names, have they? We'll have to see when a player comes near us, because
they have, but it's just very difficult to see.
So we'll do our best as the afternoon goes on. Grimes goes along towards a bow. He's beaten in the air. Carson comes across and just chips that ball forward, and a bow is going to run to try and get that one ahead of Kyle Ferguson. He's into the area of Bow. Ferguson then gets in front of him and goes down under contact from a bow and wins a free kick, but just for a second there it looked like Ken Bow was away.
He was away, and do you know what? I think he had a couple of yards on him, the defender there as well, and it seemed very, very easy for Bow to get the other side of him. So something early doors for Boston to look at and expose on our left-hand side.
Ken Bow and Luca Barrington, the wide men that have come into the Boston United side. They've seen a change of shape. It was a 3 that became a back 5 when they were defending last week. A very, very good defensive display, and they were very close to picking up a very good point. But it's Yeovil that are coming forward now with Ryan Jones. Plays the ball out to the right-hand side. Now Boston have got some defending to do as Sims plays it back to Jones, who've made an overlapping run, and Grimes has to go across and concede a corner. Yeah,
they played well there. They broke the lines really well, Yeovil. They've got those players that are playing between the Boston midfield and defence, and they've picked them out quite easily, actually, a little bit too easy, and was able to get down on this right-hand side. So something that, last week wasn't an option really, because they played so compact, did Boston. So something to look at early doors.
So for Yeovil, you've got the first corner to be taken by Dakara Mafiko. The Cardiff loanee will take this corner. 3 minutes gone, 0-0. Comes the corner towards the back post. Grimes has to flick that one out for another corner.
Yeah, well defended, watched it all the way. Just watch Grimes there. He's clearly the one that they want to go and attack the ball in there. He positions himself centrally. He's free. He's got no defensive responsibility other than capturing the flight of the ball and going to attack it.
And Yeovil this time have a corner in front of their away fans. That's a decent following from Yeovil. And comes the corner towards the 6-yard box. Boston going to head onto it with Gallagher, trying to get a second clearance through Barrington, but Yeovil have won the ball back and have it on the right hand side now with McKenna. His pass was misread, and Boston are bringing this ball away now with Ken Bow. Tries to go past Mafiko, but he's dispossessed, and they'll start again. Yeovil, and the ball ends up with McKenna on this right hand side, but the pass is overhit, and Boston United have a throw in.
I think that's where a little bit of experience needed from Ken Bow there. There's not a lot in front of him, and I think he's got to really maintain possession of the ball for his team, because if he doesn't, just like then, down to a bad pass, Yeovil have passed it out, but you can put your team under pressure.
Very early goal in one of our local games, as it's Bourne Town 0, Lichfield 1. Jude Taylor in the first minute for Lichfield. Bourne battling relegation in their division and trailing by a very early goal. We'll hear from Graham Cowell later on at half-time of this game here on Hope and Glory, but it's the Glovers that have the ball at the moment, working it in the midfield. They've certainly come to play, as you can tell early on, and they have it on the left-hand side now in front of their home fans. Boston just keeping the shape and making sure they deal with this. Now there's going to be a switch of play, and the threat over here is Josh Sims, headed away by Carson. Curzon's now looking to bring the ball down. That's Maguire. Does well to elude a couple of challenges there. Frankie Maguire then prods the ball forward, but he's dispossessed. And the Glovers will start again. At the back, long ball forward, and it's just over the head of Jones. What a bit of space there. Grimes will come across and deal with it for Boston United. Plays it out to the left-hand side where Matty Carson is for the Pilgrims. One of the 3 changes made today by Paul Hurst. And he goes back to his skipper, looking at his options and using his centre-half partner in Rooney. Across to the left-hand side now, Carson inside the Yeovil half. Looks to play it across to Curzons, who heads that ball forward, but he's kind of headed it too well, and that'll go through to the goalkeeper, Jed Ward.
Yeah, I think if we're going to play any balls into Curzon, he's got to give him an opportunity of trying to hold the ball up for his team there. That was very high, and all he can really do is try and get some contact to slow the pace of the ball down for people around him, but wasn't able to do it on that occasion.
And the ball has ended up back with Rooney in the defensive area. Southend have taken the lead against Forest Green in the National League. Forest Green very inconsistent of late under Robbie Savage. Boston winning there a couple of weeks ago, just looking to secure that playoff place. Southend looking to get into those playoffs. It looks like it'll be them or Halifax that get that last spot, as the Glovers are visitors here, just looking to pull themselves further away from the bottom four. They're 8 points off it, even though their position is 19th in the table. Boston win the ball high up through Gallagher, but then he is dispossessed. Yeovil certainly look very confident on the ball, don't they?
Absolutely. I've been really impressed actually with the way that they're prepared to play in tight areas. They get the ball in, they'll kind of show there's always 2 or 3 options on, which always makes it easy if you want to play football as a team. They work hard to get themselves into possession and then support around the person on the ball. So if the Boston aren't on their A game today, a little bit like we needed to see them defensively last week, it could be a difficult afternoon for them.
Yeovil came here and won 3-1 last week, including a worldie of a free kick in the early days of last season, and a possession-based side. The first game under the manager Billy Rowley was at home to Boston United, and they attempted to play out from the back, and clearly they'd not done that all season, and Boston did not capitalise, whereas now they've clearly grown in confidence as the season's gone on. About nearly winning that ball back. That's a attempted ball out to Sims on the right, I should say. It goes out for a Boston United throw-in, and Matty Carson will take it. 7 minutes gone here on BBC Radio Lincolnshire. Boston 0, Yeovil Town 0. It's with Grimes for the Pilgrims. Now Carson thought about the long ball, then he checks back and goes back to his skipper instead.
It's interesting then, Dale, the number 9 Jarvis pointed to Carson and said, go on, give it back to Grimes. They're going to sit off in out of possession and try and let Boston play and build through, and they're really comfortable enough to do it, which is good to see.
First contribution from Barrington there, winning a free kick, taking it quickly into Maguire, but it's now back with Grimes, and just like Boston were happy for the centre half to have the ball a lot last week, if you remember.
Absolutely.
Yeovil happy for Grimes to have it for Boston United, and then they'll look to attack it. It's with that man Jarvis, lays it back, and you've got 2 sides that are certainly going to try and win this game, which is always good. Yeovil and Boston neither mathematically safe. Points definitely needed. I'm sure Paul Hurst will want to get to that mark as quick as possible, so that start planning for next season. Yeovil will have it at the back again, and just how you think they're going to go along, they don't. They're a very patient side. Boston. Barrington trying to charge this one down. It's back with Jed Ward, the goalkeeper, and that's very calmly cleared away, and in the end the ball is given away back to Grimes. I think he's going to see a lot of the ball this afternoon. Carson for the Pilgrims, and again goes back to Grimes and across to Rooney. In the end it goes across to Connaughton, the right back, coming forward, finds Barrington, and goes back to Rooney. And Boston, Yeovil have had a lot of possession early on. It's now Boston's turn, maybe just to keep the ball for a few minutes, with Carson down to a boat on the left hand side, comes inside, goes back to Jordan Richards. Now it's with Ocean Gallagher inside the centre circle. Rooney being encouraged to come forward, but then goes back to Gallagher. Now it's with Grimes inside the centre circle. Carson, which side's going to find that pass that opens up the other side? Rooney under a little bit of pressure finds Jordan Richards and then goes back to Grimes. His ball forward towards a bow is intercepted, but it goes out for a Boston United throw-in near the home dugout. To be taken by Carson. Throws it down the line towards Kersons, who heads it back to Carson, and that's a late one. And a foul by Ryan Jones. And it is still goalless here. So early today, remember Lincoln City beating Stockport by 3-1. All the reaction, Red Imps Club is now available live on BBC Sounds. Go on there, search Red Imps Club for all the reaction. Tendai Joriqua, Michael Scabala, Tony McHamilton, the former Lincoln City women's captain, plenty of reaction. We've also got Michael Horton with us at half-time and full-time of this game for more reaction to that game. And there'll be more reaction with Scott on the breakfast show, Scott Dalton, on Monday as Lincoln City break a club record, 20 games unbeaten. Boston take this free kick through Grimes, goes long towards Curzons, but it's easily intercepted. Boston will have to start again now with Rooney over on the right back position. Does well to elude his man and then plays the ball over the top towards Curzons. Took an awkward bounce. Just for a second you thought Curzons were going to be through, but it's gathered in by Jed Ward and he's still goalless.
Excellent play again there from Rooney. Defended really well, got around his man, put a little bit of backspin on that ball as well through, but the pitch being a bit slick, it just didn't quite hold up enough for Curzons, which you would have liked to have seen. Just pre-game we spoke about what is it we're going to need to see today as an improvement for Boston. It was that gap between the strikers and the midfield being bridged, and I'm not seeing it yet, Dale, to be honest. As you look at the top now, you've got 4 strikers. You've got one on the right, 2 in the middle and one on the left, and it feels like someone needs to be around where the referee is and their number 20 just there. You can see just in that gap, if Maguire needs to occupy that space, there's no bridge. Every ball has to go long or be so delicate. So that's what I'd like to see. Maguire's taken up a slightly better position now, but he's got to move. He's got to move from there and go side by side.
So thoughts of Mark Clifford, the former Boston United player here on BBC Radio Lincolnshire. Stamford have taken the lead against Leiston. Leon Lobjoy, his 8th goal for the club since joining them. His 4th in 3 games as Stamford look to pull off what would be a remarkable escape from relegation. A win could see them go out of the bottom 4. They've got games in hand, but they've also got a very hard run in before the end of the season. A lot of the top sides to play. Stamford, here it's still 0-0, but that's the ball forward now towards Teal, making a run forward. The defender came across and fell over. Referee happy to play on, but the ball ends up back with Jed Ward, who clears, and Yeovil will look to start again. Barrington trying to press high on here to win the ball back for Boston United, as is Maguire, but Yeovil again, it's confidence. A lot of little passes, and they do get the ball forward. A Bow nearly wins that back, as does Jordan Richards. In fact, Jordan Richards does win the ball back for Boston United. Thinking where to go, back to Gallagher inside the centre circle now with Rooney. Switches the ball across to Carson, who comes inside for Boston United, plays it out to Kennebell on the left, back to Grimes, who's inside the Yeovil half, looking at his options, and there aren't really many for Boston. Probably need a bit more movement in the attacking third, but Bow now has it on the left hand side. It's a low ball in that's easily intercepted, and Yeovil will start again. Oh, Curzons nearly won that ball high up the pitch. He's now with Barrington on the edge of the penalty area. Finds a Bow, looks to try and get it back to Barrington. Curzons twisting and turning, trying to get that ball. Yeovil eventually clear. Rooney picks it up for the Pilgrims. It's a better spell this as Carson has it, comes inside, finds Maguire, back to goal, trying to turn, prods it to Barrington, back to Gallagher as Boston looks to try and get themselves in front here. Richards finds Matty Carson now, plays the ball low. Well, it's just in front of Maguire and behind Curzons, and that goes out for, no, it doesn't go out for a Boston throw because the Bow chooses to keep it in. Good bit of pressure this from the Pilgrims, 0-0 as they look to try and take the lead here on Hope and Glory. And it's with Richards dispossessed though in midfield, and the Glovers are going to bring this ball away. Boston need to get their men back. It's a run from Ryan Jones, the number 10. Boston have got plenty of men back. Yeovil, just for a second there, looked like they could have the counter-attack. In the end, it's back with them, and they're playing it across their back four. But a good bit of pressure from Boston.
Yeah, there was. I think the fans were a little bit frustrated then, because I think they felt there was a number of opportunities to get shots away, and I absolutely agree with them. I think what they needed to be doing really is taking a chance and gambling on things that impose, things that in the goalkeeper, deflections. Because at some point you've got to have a shot, Dale, or you won't be scoring goals. I'd also like to see a Bow take his man on 1v1. That's the best part of his game. and he's not tried it once yet, although he's had several opportunities to do so. In fact, I think I've just seen the manager tell him, get at your player. We already knows he can do him for pace. I'm not sure what his reluctance is.
Carson now has it for Boston. The back four seeing a lot of the ball, and not because Yeovil are attacking a lot, it's just they're happy for the Pilgrims to have it at the back, and it's up to Boston to find that killer pass, if you like. And Rooney plays the ball forward to Maguire, just flicks that ball on, but it's intercepted. Richards does well and then plays a good ball across to Frankie Maguire. Out to the left-hand side for Cannabo, but it goes behind a bow and out for a throw-in.
It's so sloppy, so sloppy. The ball needs to be played with his left foot. He needs to trust it, so it gives momentum for Bow to run onto. He's played the ball behind him and he's actually kicked it out of play. It's got to be better, hasn't it?
It certainly has. But we've been in 15 minutes here at the Jatemans. Reaction to this game also at the end of the match. Paul Hurst, one of the Boston United players, as well as more from Mark. If you haven't got time to listen, the Boston United podcast will be up later this evening. BBC Sound search Boston United, who are next in action away at Carlisle next Saturday. Another tricky away game. Yeovil have won themselves a free kick on the halfway line. Good play from Aaron Jarvis, draws the foul. It's a free kick inside the centre circle.
It's not a lot in that for me, you know. He's waited for contact. He's had a little bit of contact and he's hit the ground. I think the referee's been con there a little bit, Dale.
Yeovil take the short one, and they look to come forward with Mafiko. And Boston got some defending to do here now as Jarvis has it and shoots, and it goes in. Yeovil have taken the lead. Jarvis turned and fired it towards goal, and Boston United find themselves behind. Boston 0, Yeovil 1.
Way too easy. And I've just mentioned, haven't I, a few minutes ago about having a shot. They've had a shot from what is probably is turned well, reasonably well. Defender within a few yards of him. Is it a low shot to the goalkeeper's right? I think the goalkeeper should do better. But he's had a shot, Dale, and anything can happen if you have a shot and it's on target.
Well, Dan Cameron will be disappointed to be beaten with that effort. And now Yeovil, who have come into this game full of confidence, have taken the lead, and as Mark Clifford said, they've just had a shot. It's one of those pot shots, really, isn't it? And if you don't shoot, well, you don't score. And the goalkeeper, Dan Cameron, beaten. So 1-0 to the Glovers here on BBC Radio Lincolnshire. What have Boston United got in them to get themselves back into the game? We're still waiting for the game to restart. The referee's having a word with one of the visiting players. It's Terrell Works, who I don't know if he's got a cut or anything. He's just been...
It's his pod. The GPS pod, I think, maybe. I mean,
yeah,
why
he's just been handed. He's just been handed something. I don't understand all this. So you please explain.
Yeah. So actually, it looks like it's a shin pad, which is the world's smallest shin pad. If I'm honest, I thought it was small enough to be a GPS pod. What you see the footballers wearing the black vests.
Yeah.
But actually, it was his shin pad. So I hope he doesn't get any wayward tackles because there's nothing protecting him.
Anyway, we are back underway, and it's Boston United 0, Yeovil Town 1. 18 minutes gone here on BBC Radio Lincolnshire. Stamford leading their game by a goal to 0. Bourne trailing at home to Lichfield by a goal to 0. Still 0-0 in the games of Oran Spalding and Lincoln United. And earlier today, Lincoln City winning by 3 goals to 1 against Stockport. Yeovil have a throw in near the dugout of Paul Hurst's stood. And I don't think he'll be very happy with what he's seen so far, will he?
No, I don't think he will, actually.
I don't just mean the goal, I mean everything.
Yeah, I think it's that final third bit, Dale. It's what do you do when you're in possession of the ball? How does your midfield link up with your strikers? And the answer at the moment is not very well. Because they're not finding adequate spaces to try and go and play, so everything's got to be pinpoint, and I don't think they've got the players to play that type of pinpoint game. It looks more like they're looking to expose the space behind Yeovil, which they're not doing that as well either. So they've got to do one or the other. Yes, we've got to try and stretch a game, but then you've got to try and find the gaps. And I don't think they're managing the game particularly well at this moment in time.
Yeah, we'll have it at the back as the visiting fans making themselves heard. That's a good number, though, isn't it, of Yeovil fans over there? It's a long way.
It's a trek. It is a real good trek and a great effort from the supporters to make the journey up here.
And they'll be enjoying what they've seen so far as Boston trailing to Yeovil by a goal to nil. Grimes plays the ball forward towards Curzon's, brought it down well, but he was crowded out there, the current player of the month, winning the National League Player of the Month for February. Maguire does well to just get a toe to that one. Boston United looking to press just that little bit higher. Yeovil clearly happy to have it at the back. A bow wins them a throw-in, which will be taken by Matty Carson on the left-hand side. Thought about the quick one to Maguire, but changed his mind and threw it back to Richard. Back to Matty Carson. It's a heavy touch though, and he's dispossessed. And Sims has it for the visitors, but Carson's won it back. No, he hasn't. He's ended up fouling his man, Brett McGavin, and that's a free kick to the visitors.
Yeah, I can see the body language of Paul Hurst at the moment. And we just mentioned, will he be happy with this? I don't think he will, and I think he's just letting one or two know they just need to raise their games a little bit. It's not just one. There's probably 5 or 6 at the minute, Dale, that are probably having below par games. So they've got to dig themselves out and start to put the ball in the right areas. Win a header, win a tackle, get a short pass in, start to build some confidence up.
Yeovil have the ball at the back. Ward, the keeper, Boston pressing him, forcing him to go along. Gallagher's header forward then is intercepted, and the visitors will start again. Ball forward towards Sims, goes out of place. It's 0-0 here, and Lincoln City beating Stockport 3-1, which sees them go 20 unbeaten, 7 clear at the top. Cardiff playing at the moment though, they're still 0-0 in their game, 15 points off third after Bolton drew at Rotherham. Bradford, if they win, that gap will be narrowed to 13 points. Bradford are currently 0-0 at Wigan. Boston United have won themselves a free kick. The first real chance is on the left-hand side, won by Curzon. First real chance to get men forward and get the ball in the box. Absolutely,
and the first time I've said this in a long time, but there's an opportunity to use the sun to their advantage here as well, because it will be in the goalkeeper's eyes. As I said that, the sun just looks like a cloud just covered it away. Yeah, that he's got a commentator's curse with the weather, Mark. Anyway, yes, there is no sun. It was out and now it's gone for this free kick. Lovely afternoon here at the Jatemans. It's going to be Carson on the left-hand side. Can Boston United get themselves an equalising goal? Carson with the free kick. Dangerous one in, it's headed in. It's 1-1, and it's Rooney with the header. It's a great delivery from Carson, and there was Jake Rooney. A great header past the keeper. Boston 1, Yeovil 1. What a great ball and what a great run from Rooney. There was a lot of attention on Grimes at the far post, and I'm just wondering if he was a diversion and an unnecessary one for Yeovil to be overly worrying about when you've got someone so astute in the air as Rooney, who took his chance really, really well. Well, it's his third goal since joining the club, and as Mark says, Grimes is always the one to look out for, but there's so much threat in the box. Rooney, Gallagher, Curzon, and Rooney, I say it's 3 goals in 9 games. Absolutely, and I think they seem to be obsessed with making sure Grimes didn't get a run on him, and Rooney ran through unchallenged. Well, 1-1, Boston getting themselves level as Teal clears. Barrington tries to flick that to Maguire, then it bounced up and hit his head as he headed it forward. Gallagher picks it up now for the Pilgrims. Tried to play a ball over the top then, it was just intercepted, and then Richards' pass was as well, but it's with Grimes. Across to Carson, plays the ball down the line to a Bow. Defender missed the ball. A Bow has it now on the left-hand side. He's into the area. A Bow looked to try and play a pass across. It was blocked, but he pulls it back to Carson. Great ball in. Maguire flung his head at it, and it was just above him.
and it comes all the way across to Connor Teal on the right-hand side. 1-1, back to Oshin Gallagher, left-footed cross from him to the back post towards a bow, can't quite get there, and it goes out for a goal kick. Much better from Boston United.
Much better. What a ball from Carson down there. He saw that the fullback, though it was actually the wide right player, saw that he was slightly out of position and just bent a ball round him for a bow to run onto. It was an excellently weighted ball. Bow didn't quite do well enough on the ball, but again, a good opportunity with a Carson and whipping in a great ball.
Just as Boston United were equalising here, Bourne Town were getting themselves level. Connor Fury with the goal. It's Bourne 1, Lichfield 1. Will get across to Graham Cowell at half-time of this game. They're at Bourne. Bourne with a win could climb out of that bottom four as in their relegation battle. Boston United looking to get themselves back inside the National League's top 10 as Grimes plays the ball to Carson. Ball forward towards Curzon, surely offside to Curzon's. Yeah, it was a very, very late flag. But even he just stood there, had the ball with him, still waited for the flag. Anyway.
I think the sun must have been in his eyes, Dale.
Yeah, the sun's back out now, Mark. Anyway, 1-1, 25 minutes played here on BBC Radio Lincolnshire. Yeovil taking the lead on 16 minutes, but Boston were only behind for 7 minutes. Jake Rooney's third goal, all headers, makes it 1-1. There's a ball over the top for Sims to chase. It's just overhit and goes out for a goal kick for Dan Cameron to take. And he takes it short to Grimes. So he was the man that caused the distraction, or the one that they were focusing on Yeovil. But Rooney's just as good in the air. Ball forward from Carson towards Curzon. Can't get anything on that, and it's back with the man all in purple in Jed Ward, the goalkeeper for Yeovil on loan from Bristol Rovers. And he's got the ball again here, and he won't want to go long. It's not the style they play. Instead he plays a good ball out to the left-hand side, and Alex Whittle, former Boston United player, brought it down. Very confident on the ball. Ferguson and Wannell, the two centre-halves, happy to have it. And then they're looking for that pass, and that's what they've done again, through to Ryan Jones. But it's now back with the centre-half, and Wannell looks to play the ball out there, and it's still 1-1. Boston coming from behind to draw themselves level. Ball down the line to Sims, who's seen a lot of the ball on the right-hand side, kicks it against Carson. It goes out for a throw-in to the visitors. Carson picked the ball up in the hope the linesman would give the throw-in Boston's way. And they'll start again now with Kyle Ferguson. There's a ball forward, foul by Curzons on the number 2 McKenna, and a free kick to Yeovil, who've settled again, haven't they, since conceding?
They have, yeah. Boston seem to get their tails up a little bit for probably a 3 to 5 minute period, as you would do when you've just scored, and had a quick go, but it's kind of fizzled out a little bit, and the impetus seems to have gone for now.
And I'm sure there's plenty that Paul Hurst will be saying to his side at half time, but we only had 28 minutes. Plenty of time in this first half for both sides to get themselves in front. Carson did well to intercept that ball there, and then a bow is adjudged to have fouled his man. Free kick.
I think one man's gone for a header, one man's gone to kind of use his body against the player that's jumping up. For me, that is a foul. You've got the ball's high in the air. You've got to go for the ball. You can't do that. Players get hurt that way. It is a foul for me, Dale.
Jed Ward has it for in the sunshine here at the Jakemans. I'll be looking the Glovers to try and find a way through. Jones now plays the ball over the top, but Cameron reads that and comes to the edge of his area and gathers him.
Excellent positioning that was, Dale, because it had to be right. If the pitch doesn't carry the way it does, he's in a world of trouble, but he trusts the pitch and he was in exactly the right place. Boston
United go long towards the Tom Curzons, the top scorer, 7 goals since joining from Harrogate Town, winning the National League Player of the Month in February, as Paul Hurst won the Manager of the Month, both announced this week. It was a fantastic month, but Boston United will be looking for a reaction from that defeat last week, and In patches they've had it today. Long ball forward, headed away by Grimes. Carson then heads the ball down to Boston United's goal scorer in Rooney. Switches it to the right back and Conatel ball forward towards Barrington now, who dummies the defender and finds himself some space on that right hand side, running towards goal. Barrington, low ball in towards Maguire. Boston have got men over here. Maguire trying to make space to shoot. Maguire does shoot, deflected and gathered in by Ward.
Yeah, well done. A great opportunity, great play by Barrington on that right hand side, and I think, you know, Bozo held his hands up as if to say, you know, I was a better pass, but Maguire ultimately was on his favoured foot, and, you know, doing what he does best ultimately, and just wasn't to be on this occasion.
And a great bit of play there from Barrington.
Yeah, great skill, and ultimately we've just seen a flash there of what, you know, what the manager has ultimately brought him in for.
Well, and then he's looking to press on the goalkeeper here. I think this is what Boston need to do. They need to press high, don't they, really?
Yeah, I think so, and I think that shows an intent, ultimately, if you do that.
It's a very good
to your
tackle there
supporters.
From Carson's, and it was one he needed to make because Works looked like he had a bit of space there. Anyway, Boston have got the ball back. It's 1-1. We'll go through the latest National League scores for you in a moment as Grimes has the ball, finds Carson. It's another ball, looking for the runner. Maguire, he's in. Oh, he's offside.
He did look off, Dale. He's just gone a split second too soon. What a fantastic ball again, though. He's got to trust himself there a bit.
So in the National League, there's Aldershot 0, York City 1. York will go back to the top of the league with a win because Rochdale are playing this evening, and Halifax 1, Boreham Wood 1. Brunt with the equaliser for Boreham Wood, who are sitting in fourth. Halifax and Southend are the two that are battling for that last playoff spot, so it seems. Here it's 1-1 and Boston United are coming forward now. Maguire has it on the left hand side for the Pilgrims, comes inside. Frankie Maguire chips the ball in, but it's gathered in. So we said about Bradford City this afternoon, and if they win, Lincoln's gap will be cut to 13 points from third place. Well, Bradford are trailing at Wigan. Vickers with the goal. It's Wigan 1, Bradford City 0. As things stand, Lincoln will stay 15 points clear of third. Cardiff are still 0-0 at Exeter, so they would remain. It would be 6 clear of Cardiff as things stand. Lincoln beating Stockport 3-1 earlier today. Here it's still 1-1 on BBC Radio Lincolnshire. 32 minutes played. Yeovil bringing the ball forward, well intercepted by Jordan Richards. Maguire battling to try and win that ball in midfield, but it'll be the visitors that are coming forward, and again that looked like there might be an offside there, and Jarvis, their goal scorer, was offside.
Well done, linesman. Absolute great spot. He just went again a split second too early. Just going to flip back a few things. Maguire's given the ball away a hell of a lot. He's chopped in from the left hand side and given a poor cross. His quality just doesn't seem to be on point, because that's normally one of his main attributes, isn't it? It's his quality on the ball, and it's not quite making things happen for Boston. And when you play in the position he is as a 10, you have to make things happen. You've got to make things tick, and he isn't. That's that area we spoke about. If Boston are going to be a good side, that's the position. It's really, really important that his quality is making the team tick and driving the team on.
That's thoughts of Mark Clifford here on BBC Radio Lincolnshire. They've got some defending to do now, Boston United, as Sims looking to run at Carson, pulls the ball back inside, and it ends up back out with the number 10 now, Ryan Jones. Comes inside onto his left foot. Boston have got Carson and a bow with him. That's a clever ball to Sims now, who's inside the area, drills the ball across. Richards as well to come across and concede a corner. Clever play there from Ryan Jones, a great pass. Sims drilled the cross in. Richards did well. All
felt too easy though, Dale, didn't it? It's just whilst it was a good reverse pass, there was only one place he really was ever going to put the ball, and your fullback got to be wise to that and get his body between him and the ball and the defender to make sure he can't get behind. Great defending from Richards there to avoid the ball going into the centre of the goal.
Third corner of the match for Yeovil. Boston yet to have one. Their goal came from a free kick. And defending to do again here for the Pilgrims towards that back post. Grimes got a head onto it, but it's across the 6-yard box. Boston struggling to get headed towards goal. Out comes Cameron, got a punch onto it, and then Carson volleys that ball away. They struggled to deal with that one, Boston United. Goalkeeper came decisively and got a punch onto it. Jed Ward, his opposition number, then plays the ball forward. It's headed into that 6-yard box, and Cameron again comes out and parries that one at the feet of Jarvis. It was good goalkeeping in the end, because Jarvis for a second looked like he was going to be in, then he's fouled Gallagher, it's free kick to Boston, but decisive goalkeeping there from Cameron, and it felt he needed to get a touch to that.
Yeah, I think there's two things there. Firstly, Dale, from the corner, he's coming, really defended well for his team. He's got a punch on it because the ball was in and around the box and being flicked around. That was very close for me. I think if you don't get a touch there, there's a chance you give away a penalty, and he's just managed to get himself on the right side of the laws of the game.
There was definitely a touch on the ball, wasn't there? And
Absolutely.
there was no complaints from Yeovil. It was good goalkeeping, but it's that fine line, isn't it? As the visitors have the ball again. They've had a lot of possession in this first half, but Boston United have also looked a threat going forward. Sims gets the ball back, and gets his left hand side, Boston's left. They've certainly seen that as an area to try and exploit the visitors.
They've got their number 10, who we just spoke about, our number 10 Maguire, and their number 10 Dale Jones is getting into really good areas and making things tick. You spoke about the left hand side, but he's floating from the inside left position to the inside right position to the wide right, and he's making things happen, and that's what we need to see from Maguire.
And it's Yeovil now, we've said all that, coming down the other side and winning a free kick. Foul by, who it is, Gallagher, and it's a free kick to Yeovil, and a chance for them to put the ball in the box. And they've shown, haven't they, from the corners, that they get that ball in the box, they're a bit of a threat. Yeah,
absolutely, and ultimately they'll be working like every team does just to get that one person free, a little bit like we've seen for Rooney, and let's see what their thoughts on this. They've got a few big lads that are now coming up, so it's about the first contact.
Yeah, Jake Wannell's up there, Kyle Ferguson, Jay Mockiner, to name a few. Big men up there, certainly a threat. Boston United, Grimes organising his defence as always. He's the man that's up against McKenna at the back post. Here comes the free kick for Yeovil. It's towards that back post. McKenna actually won the first one, heads it back across, then there's a sliced effort towards goal. McKenna then gets his head onto it. Boston struggling to clear, and in the end it's headed behind by Gallagher. That ball could have gone anywhere, but in the end Boston deal with it.
They did, yeah, Justin. Again, it's about having bodies in the right place, Dale. And sometimes you can say there's a little bit of luck there, but ultimately when you're defending and things are bumping around in your box, you need to be goal side of the ball to make sure that you can, impact on anything that's going goal bound.
Yeah, we'll certainly look to threat from set pieces, 4 corners. They've had that free kick as well. It's Boston United there have defended them all so far. Here comes another corner. The goalkeeper came in there. Maguire heads it away from in front of him. Back with Sims. And now back with the corner taker. Mafako plays the ball down the line. Boston have got some defending to do here, and in the end Carson intercepts that, but they've got nobody up there. Boston United, Barrington bringing the ball away, still going. Luca Barrington tries to play the ball across to the right hand side where Curzons had made a run, but it's intercepted. Yeovil will start again.
It looked promising, that did as well, didn't it?
It did.
It looked like the whole pitch, the opposite side of the pitch was available for that pass to be put into, and a willing runner, but unfortunately the quality again just evading Boston.
There's Lincoln United, they're also in action today away at Cons. It's their away form that's been the problem this season. They trail by 2-1 at the moment, and Stamford are leading their match as they look to climb out of the bottom 4 of their division. Here it is still 1-1 between Boston United and Yeovil. We'll go back to Michael Horton in the BBC Radio Lincolnshire studio at half-time for all the half-time roundups across the country, as well as more reaction to Lincoln City's victory, as Gallagher plays this ball forward towards Maguire, who lets that one run through to Curzons, who goes for the effort first time, and it trickles wide of the post. He was trying to, not quite sure what he was trying there really.
I'm not sure. He's obviously got something in his head as to where he thought the goalkeeper was and where the goal was, and he's just got himself a little bit misjudged, is what I think I'll say. That's probably the political answer. The other one is what an absolute shocking shot that was.
Well, he had a lot of time as well, didn't he? I don't think he realised maybe how much time, but yeah, we've certainly seen better from Curzons as Maguire. I love the fact you gave 2 answers there, Mark, as well. I think
I was halfway through my first one and I thought actually it was just rubbish.
Well, I
He needs to do better.
So Stamford are leading their game by 2 goals still against Leiston. Keeble with the second after Lobjoy had scored the first. So home form, they haven't lost a game at home this year. I think before today it was 5 wins, 2 draws. Their current home form, that is what could keep them up. They've been excellent at home. Of the Daniels, 1-1 here. Lincoln United trailing by 2 goals to 1. Spalding still 0-0 in their game against Halesowen. We'll hear from Dave Remnant at half-time of this match, which isn't very far away. 6 minutes to go over first half, and Boston have again, Barrington there looked like he picked the ball high up and was dispossessed very quickly, and Yeovil have had a lot of the ball, but their biggest threats have certainly come from set pieces. And it's them that are coming forward now with Joy McKenna. Plays the long ball across goes Teal to head out and heads the ball into the Yeovil Town fans that have made the journey up from Somerset, and it's they that are coming forward to try and get themselves in front here on Hope and Glory. Ball forward, Boston United with Gallagher trying to win the ball back, as is Richards, but they some useful players, Yeovil, and the ball will end up with Sims on this. I thought that had gone out actually, but Sims did really well to keep it in right in front of us here in the main stand at the Jakeman's. Yeovil have worked their way back to Jed Ward.
I see at the moment, I've just been watching Curzon for a little while, and he's doing a hell of a lot of running, you know, to try and work the back four when they're in possession of the ball. They've got to work smartly, because you can't just have him running and running and running. You need him to save some of his energy for when the balls are going into him.
Yeovil are coming forward now, again down the Boston United left. Sims is into the area, looks for the pullback, he does, shot driven in, well blocked by Gallagher. Did really well to read that, Oshin Gallagher, the Lincoln City loanee, to throw in.
Bit easy again down that side, Dale, though, isn't it? It just seems to getting in down that side quite easily. Yes, it looks quite pleasing on the eye, little flicks and stuff, but actually it's basic stuff. They're trying to get their wide player behind the fullback, and he's got to do better.
And it's Sims, isn't it? Every time, the number 19, who will feel he probably should have done better himself. Boston United win a throw-in. Linesman and referee weren't sure which way that had gone.
Well, there's two things here. He's got that wrong, because it was a Yeovil throw-in, but actually I don't think the ball went out. And the linesman certainly seemed to react off the referee's decision. And then the linesman gave it. But the linesman's there for a reason, see if the ball goes out of play. Maguire was away there. It looked 2v1. Interesting.
Which is now back with the Yeovil Town defence. Same number 2, McKenna, and the centre-half partner Wallel have seen a lot of the ball in this match. It's certainly a change from the Yeovil defence that played in the game at Yeovil, where they really had no confidence on the ball. But anyway, they're coming forward now, and it's Sims inside the area again, down the Boston United left, looks to check inside. There's a Boston United man on the floor and adjudged to have been fouled. It was Rooney came across and then slipped, and the referee, as Sims tried to get round the body of Rooney, adjudged it as a shove and a free kick.
Yeah, the number 10 Jones has done really well, hasn't he? He's won a great header against Grimes, and there's certainly at least a foot difference between the two players. And then they've gone through, and I think Rooney's done fantastically well to put his body in the way there.
Boston United and Curzon wins a free kick just inside the Yeovil half, as Spalding have gone behind to Halesowen. Halesowen just outside the playoffs. Spalding have a rotten record against Halesowen as well. Spalding knocked off the top during the week, and it's Spalding 0, Halesowen 1. We'll get to Dave Remnant at half-time of this game, which is just a couple of minutes plus stoppage time away. Boston take the free kick short and allow Maguire to gain a few yards before crossing it towards the back post where Grimes was. It's headed away, and Yeovil will look to start again. And they don't seem in a hurry to counter, but they do have players like this man Jones, who can certainly cause problems, but Richards has read that well, and then goes back to his goalkeeper, who really had to be alert there because he was being charged down. Cameron, who did well to clear. I mean, you could just say that was the perfect back pass, I suppose, but
yeah, I certainly held my breath for a second. I'm not entirely sure he saw that player, but although he put enough weight on the pass to make sure he's confident he was going to get back to him in any case, the goalkeeper.
A Bow trying to win it back now. Sims, who's seen a lot of the ball down the Yeovil right. This time he goes back.
The Boston press is just off at the minute there. We just had an example of a Bow going over to press. Carson then goes over to press. It's almost got to be, united press. Excuse the pun. But ultimately, the one person has to trigger the press, and it has to be more aggressive. They're just nearly getting there. When you play against a team like Yeovil, you've got to set a trap for them.
And here they go again. Down the Boston United left, and it's with Sims. Richards has gone with him this time. Richards stops the cross at the expense of a corner.
Yeah, it's a problem down here, and they're going to have to do something.
I think it'll be spoken about at half time. I'm sure.
I think so, and I just look now. If a Bow's doing a little bit more of what I think he's best at, which is getting the ball to him and him running at players more often, that pushes Yeovil back a little bit more, and I don't think he's given the protection the other way. And I wonder if that's one of the reasons for playing a Bow, is because they have got a good attacking threat down the right hand side.
Yeovil have the corner just before half time, played in an awful corner that was easily dealt with by Maguire on the near post. It comes back to Sims, and again him and Jones play the 1-2. This time Sims first time cross, headed away by Richards. Yeovil will start again, and the very impressive Ryan Jones with his pink boots, but he's certainly been very talented with them. We've got 2 minutes to be added on here on BBC Radio Lincolnshire. Jones plays the high one in, it's headed away by Teal. Needed to be one there, he had 3 with him, Connor Teal, and Gallagher then does really well to win that back as we're into those 2 minutes of stoppage time. Curzons now has it, wins the free kick on the halfway line. Boston United also, we talk about attacking options. Linnell, John Lewis back on the bench for the programme today. Looking forward to hopefully see him later. Geordie Hawula, Liam McCarran, Marcel Lavenir. There's plenty of attacking options, but also if they need to steady things up down this side, Alex Langshire may be an option in the second half. We will find out as the game progresses. Here's a Bow for Boston United, back to Carson's, across to Grimes, and now with their goal scorer Rooney. High one, looking for a Bow on the left hand side. Sims, who's tracked back, heads away, then it's prodded forward by Carson, headed away. Richards then gets a little head onto it. Sims again clears. It's a bit of a sliced one. Carson's will head the ball forward, but they'll start again. Boston United now on the right hand side as Gallagher plays it out to Teal, then he gets it back. Oshin Gallagher into Rooney, plays that ball across to Matty Carson, running down the left hand side. Now a Bow's got 2 with him, Kennebody comes inside. The Boston United number 24, Richards, out to Carson, looking for options of a cross. It was a great delivery for him that led to Boston's equaliser. Richards plays the ball across to Oshin Gallagher, who takes a moment for giving it to Grimes. Now Carson. Boston ending the half with a lot of the ball. Now Rooney looking for the run of Barrington. Gets up Barrington, but can't quite win it. Battling away inside the penalty area, then it'll fall for a volleyed effort that's brilliantly saved by the goalkeeper. It was Oshin Gallagher with the volley with his left foot, and it's a really good save.
Great effort. I was just watching Barrington. Twice he's gone to make a run from the outside in, come back out, and then the second time Rooney's found him, and they've been fortunate to get the bounce and whatever happens next. But what a shot from Gallagher on his weaker side. Ultimately, he's got a good shot where it's a great goal, got saved from the goalkeeper down to his left.
Well, when it's in the air, I'm thinking, is Gallagher going to volley this? You're not expecting that. It was brilliant from Gallagher. Fair play as Boston have this corner. Can they get the lead before half time? Oh dear. Oh dear. Well, Carson, we've seen this done. He was looking to find Maguire on the edge of the area. It was very well read. And overall a waste of a corner. But there goes the half time whistle, where it's Boston United 1, Yeovil Town 1. And Boston United found themselves behind. Aaron Jarvis firing past Dan Cameron in the 16th minute. Rooney headed in a brilliant Matty Carson cross midway through the first half to make it 1-1. And I think Boston will be happy to be at 1-1, weren't they, at half time?
I'm not sure happy. I think fortunate, maybe. And I don't think the manager will be particularly happy. And I think he'll be demanding more from his players. I think it may sound like a cliche, but it needs 10%, I think, from everybody. 10% more from everybody. That's in quality, a little bit of effort in the press, the desire to win the first ball. Just 10% lift all over the pitch. I think it feels a bit flat.
And what we've seen over the last few weeks, does it surprise you that we need to see that from Boston?
It does a little bit, because that's what they've had, and that's been probably part of what's been in some of their makeup, and what the manager's given them, that extra energy and that extra belief. But maybe, this is where now the manager earns his money, and you need to see what comes out second half and how they start.
Well, there we go here at the moment then. Boston United 1, Yeovil Town 1. We'll be back for the second half, but now let's go back to the BBC Radio Lincolnshire studio and Michael Horton.
Thank you very much. Yes, I made it back to the station after the game earlier on. I'll have a bit of Tendai Doriqua, and we'll talk through where Lincoln are in terms of the table in a couple of minutes. But let's catch up with some of our other featured games, and let's get across to Spalding, where Dave Remnant, it's not going the home side's way.
No, it's not, Michael. Whistle's just gone for half-time. Plenty to do here for Spalding in the second half. They trail at the interval to an impressive Hales Owen Town outfit. The Tulips had a goal disallowed for offside after just 3 minutes. Bart Sobolski then going close shortly after. The visitors, not short on confidence themselves, started to look impressive going forward. But the only goal came 10 minutes from the break. Jason Cowley's penalty sending home keeper Wilkes the wrong way. Half-time score here, Spalding United 0, Hales Owen Town 1.
Thank you, Dave. We should say, Dave, Stamford 2 up at home against Leeds, and that's a really big scoreline for them, isn't it?
Yes, it is, Michael. Yes, terrific. When I saw the first goal come in with Lobjoit scoring again for Stamford, an early goal is just what you need when you're looking for a result, and to get a second is good. We're going to have to start calling Graham Drury Lazarus, because they were dead and buried earlier in the season. Goodness me.
Thank you very much. Let's get across to Graham Cowell, who's keeping an eye on Bourne this afternoon, and Bourne 1-1, I believe, Graham.
A story of two corners this first half, Michael. Bourne being caught out in the first minute by a Lichfield corner that they'd been working on throughout their warm-up. Delivered deep into the far post, and it was headed in by Jude Taylor, almost unmarked, to put Bourne completely on the back foot, and it took them 15 minutes or so to get off that defensive mode. But when they did, they looked the better side for the rest of the first half. They levelled on 22 minutes, again from a corner that was played into the penalty area, half cleared by Lichfield, but when it was put back in, Conor Fury followed it into the back of the net. From there were a couple of chances for Zach Allen, a couple for Lewis Darlington, and really Bourne will be disappointed not to be in front at the half-time break. But it's Bourne Town 1, Lichfield City 1.
And Graham, Lincoln United 2-1 down at Concert.
Yeah, not a great start for Lincoln United, going 2 goals down early on, but giving themselves a chance there in the northeast, pulling one back late in their first half to leave them just that 1 goal to catch up. They're in form. I'm sure that they can do that in the second half if they apply themselves.
Graham, thank you very much. Graham and Dave keeping us up to date throughout the afternoon here on BBC Radio Lincolnshire. Right, let's take you through the scorelines across the country, and then after that we'll have a little bit of a brief look back at Lincoln City, and a more extended one coming your way at 5 o'clock. But the full Lincoln City Red Imps Club is already available on BBC Sounds, and as you can hear my voice, it's not too bad. I thought it was going to be worse. Got exciting towards the end, didn't it? Right, let's talk about the Premier League then. Not much to talk about really. 2 early kickoffs, no goals in them so far. Burnley 0, Bournemouth 0, Sunderland 0, Brighton 0. From 5:30, 2 matches: Arsenal, Everton, and Chelsea against Newcastle United, and then West Ham from 8 o'clock at home against Manchester City. Into the Championship, Coventry 1, Southampton 2. A late goal in that one for Coventry, but the leaders losing by 2 goals to 1. Middlesbrough just edged back a little bit on them with a 1-1 draw at home against Bristol City, and they were winning till very late on a real late goal, 6 minutes into stoppage time for the Robins. Oxford 1, Charlton 1, Birmingham 1, Sheffield United 1. These are all that's the latest now. The other 3 were results. Leicester 1, QPR 1, Millwall 0, Blackburn 0, Norwich 2, Preston North End 0, Sheffield Wednesday 0, Ipswich Town 0, Stoke City 1, Watford 0, and West Brom 1, Hull 0. Hull down to 10 men as well after a player was sent off. League One, in case you didn't realise, Lincoln City 3, Stockport 1. I will talk about it a bit more in a moment. Jack Moylan in the first half. Tendai Doriqua 3 minutes from 90 with the second goal. In between that was Jack Diamond, the former Imp, scoring after 68 minutes, and then 4 minutes into stoppage time, the cherry on top of the cake, Alfie Lloyd. I'll take you through what it means in terms of league position in a moment. Rotherham 2, Bolton 2. I hadn't realised Bolton had scored. I got completely wrapped up in the Lincoln game, but once again, Bolton fighting from 2 down to get something out of a game. Farini and Dolby, Evo Dolby scoring the goal. The rest of these are latest. Doncaster Rovers 1, Blackpool 0, Exeter 0, Cardiff 2. That means the gap will close to 4 points again, should that stay the same. Both coming from Ruben Colwell. I was really impressed with him last week. Leyton Orient 1, Preston 0, Mansfield 0, Barnsley 1, Northampton Town 0, Burton 1, Port Vale 0, Huddersfield 0, Reading 2, Plymouth Argyle 1, it's Stevenage 1, Wimbledon 0, Wigan 1, Bradford 0. Remember, Bradford are in 4th in the table, looking to try and get above Stockport after their draw. Bolton after their draw this afternoon. Wickham 0, Luton Town 2. League 2, it's Harrogate 0, Salford 1, Notts County 2, Chesterfield 3, Barnet 1, Newport County 0, Barrow 0, Accrington Stanley 0, Bromley 1, Bristol Rovers 0, Cambridge 2, Gillingham 0, Crewe 0, Walsall 1, Fleetwood 0, Tranmere 0, Oldham 0, Grimsby 0, Shrewsbury Town 0, Cheltenham 0, and Swindon 0, MK Dons, who are looking promotion bound 1. National League, the result from earlier on, Wealdstone 5, Solihull Moors 1. Elsewhere, it's Aldershot 0, York City looking to try and get automatically promoted 1. Boston, as we know, 1-1 against Yeovil Town. Brackley 0, Woking 0, Gateshead 1, Sutton 0, Halifax 2, Boreham Wood 1, Southend United 1, Forest Green 0, Tamworth 0, Carlisle 0, Truro 0, Hartlepool United 0. What a journey for those Hartlepool United fans. And then the 5:30 kickoffs, Eastleigh against Rochdale, Morecambe against Braintree, and Scunthorpe United against Altrincham. You're up to date with all the scores across the country.
Because of you, good things happen. Because of you, Lincolnshire is a better place.
It's amazing.
You inspire, you encourage, you lift others up.
I can't believe it.
You and people like you are the spark that makes a difference.
To nominate a local hero for a Make a Difference award, go to bbc.co.uk/make a difference, where you'll find a list of categories, full terms and our privacy notice. Nominations close on the 31st of March at 5 p.m.
Make a difference. We can make a difference. BBC Radio Lincolnshire.
It is Hope and Glory with me, Michael Horton. I've traded the LNER for the BBC Radio Lincolnshire studio for the next couple of hours. We'll be back for commentary of Boston United in a bit, but we'll talk about Lincoln City, because why not? At the moment, they're currently 4 points clear at the top of the table. Remember, Cardiff 2-0 up away against Exeter City. Having seen Exeter on Tuesday, I can't see them getting back in that, but you never know, I guess, in football. But I do my research before the games, and one of the things you always look at is the form, and the form is the last 6 games. And I don't think, somebody will probably point this out, that happened in the Cowley times. Maybe it did. But the last 6 games, Lincoln currently on the screen in front of me on the BBC Sport page, on the table, it goes www. Hopefully that was 6. Maybe I did 7. They're on 80 points. I think realistically, you look at mid-80s for automatic promotion. So they probably need a couple more wins to absolutely guarantee it. I mean, I think they're pretty much there, aren't they? In 9 games. So 6 from their last 9 games would get them automatic promotion. But I'm sure the players are already thinking about the title as well as a possibility. Cardiff 4 points behind them. Bolton on 65, so Lincoln City are 15 points clear of Bolton and 16 as things stand clear of Bradford City. Now, look, of course Alfie Lloyd's goal was a great moment, but for me, this was pretty special too.
But it's come from Dariqua, takes a deflection! Oh, wow! What a moment for Tendai Dariqua! City have dug deep at the well. They have scored here really late on. The captain's 4th league goal of the season has City back in front.
Very tough game. Obviously, it's been a long week for us. Obviously, coming back after a long travel, but I thought today we just had to grind it out, and it's that time of the season now where 10 games to go. It's sometimes not about the tactics, it's just about the desire of the squad, and we've got that in abundance.
Yeah, desire and character, I think, epitomised today.
That's us, and I think we've shown it so many times this season that sometimes when we don't play our best football, we find a way to win, and thankfully we got over the line today and onto another big one on Tuesday night.
The first goal, obviously, for Jack, he's in good form.
He's on fire. Obviously delighted he's committed his long-term future to the club. Pleasing, obviously, to cap it off with a goal today. It's brilliant.
And what about, obviously, conceding a goal, 526 minutes, we did check last time. I mean, obviously you don't want to at some stage, but it's inevitable that at some stage it will happen.
Yeah, I think, obviously, being a defender, I pride myself on clean sheets, so disappointing to see it go in. I thought we could have prevented it, but look, Stockport are a good team. They've put a lot of bodies forward today and obviously conceded the goal, but the main thing is 3 points.
Lincoln City captain Tendai Darikra. Now, look, Antonelli is on pole for the Grand Prix tomorrow. Second is George Russell with Lewis Hamilton third. Let's have a wrap of how that's panned out.
A record-breaking day in Formula One. Kimi Antonelli becoming the youngest ever pole sitter in Formula One history. It's a Mercedes front row lockout. Sam Bird, the Formula E driver, is alongside me, and a great day for the Italians, a great day for Mercedes.
A brilliant day for Mercedes. Another 1-2 on the grid, with now the youngest ever Formula One pole sitter being Kimi Antonelli, a record that has stood since Sebastian Vettel in Monza when he dominated in the wet. But certainly Mercedes still look the class of the field, and it's going to be very difficult to see anybody getting close to them tomorrow.
Now, George Russell, though, started off the day in sublime form, a sprint pole, and then went on for the sprint win. And what was a really entertaining sprint race, back and forth battle with Lewis Hamilton and the other Ferrari, Charles Leclerc, before eventually winning despite a late safety car, which really kept us on our toes. But then Grand Prix qualifying, well, suddenly in Q3, in the fight for pole, it looked like George Russell wasn't even going to get back to the garage. He stopped out on track.
He did. He encountered some gremlins there with either software or gearbox, or potentially even hardware with the steering wheel. We're yet to hear what the issue was. He managed to crawl back round in first gear to the Mercedes pits, and with 2 minutes on the clock remaining, you saw the car exit the garage, and we didn't know whether they'd fixed the issue. Anyway, they had, but the tyres were not up to temperature. His battery pack wasn't charged fully. Plus, he'd had a front wing change from Q2 to Q3. So all things considered, I think a front row start for George Russell, he'll be very satisfied with that tonight.
So Kimi Antonelli then and George Russell lock out the front row for the Chinese Grand Prix. Lewis Hamilton finished third in the sprint, qualified third for the Grand Prix, ahead of his teammate Charles Leclerc. I feel like we've got a Lewis Hamilton reborn this year.
And we will find out if we have a Lewis Hamilton reborn. Commentary on BBC Radio 5 Live tomorrow. Some of this sports team will certainly be up early watching it as well. But we've got time now to go back to the Jakemans Community Stadium. 1-1 at the break. Boston United against Yeovil Town. Mark Clifford and Dale Story are your commentary team.
Thank you, Michael. Yep, welcome back to the Jakemans Community Stadium, where it's Boston United 1, Yeovil Town 1. Yeovil are out, Boston just coming out here. And Mark Clifford, the former Pilgrim, first of all, you've just met up with an old teammate.
Yeah, Jamie Cook. We was in the team that got promoted into the Football League, so really nice to see him. He's got his two lovely children with him. We just had a bit of a joke about when we used to play. I had hair and none of us were grey. But yeah, it's really, really good to see. It's great that the football club still bring back all their ex-players. So a really nice thing to see. And ultimately on the way in today with the Supporters Association, handing out the flyers and letting everyone know what fantastic work they do in the community and bringing the club together and supporting the club as well as one, and that's really important.
And did you tell him what fantastic work you do for us?
Yeah, he said, "What are you doing here?" I said, I'm on the radio. He went, "What, you on the radio?" So yeah, I said things have changed. You wouldn't believe it, but yeah, things have changed. And certainly wouldn't have seen me on the radio 20 years ago. I bet he can't even believe I've not said one swear word yet, Dale, and I'm absolutely so proud of myself.
It worries me that the fact you said the word "yet" there, Mark, but
yeah, it is, yeah, we've moved on from that.
So the two teams are out. Boston United, remind you of that team. There's no changes been made by either side at half-time. So Boston United made 3 changes from that side that lost at Rochdale, with Lancashire, Lavernier and Hawula replaced by Carson Abo and Barrington, who's made his first start for the club. So it's Dan Cameron in goal, back four of Teal, Rooney, Grimes and Carson. The midfield two of Richards and Gallagher, with Barrington, Maguire and Abo as a 3 behind Curzons in attack. On the bench, Rhys Lovick, Greg Sloggett, Geordie Hawula, Alex Lancashire, Marcel Lavernier, Liam McCarran and the returning Lenny John Lewis, who I think we might see at some point in this second half.
It would be nice to see. I would really like to see him play with Curzons and like to see what impact that would have on Maguire, because we know what Lenny's about. He will make first contact, he'll put the ball into good areas for his teammates, and I think that would release Curzons to find the best of him and the best of Maguire. But I think we're a few weeks away from that with the time that he's been out, but certainly something to look forward to.
Certainly is. We're back underway here on BBC Radio Lincolnshire. It's Grimes with the ball. It's a long ball forward and it's definitely overhit and goes out for a goal kick for Yeovil. So what you said that you'd like to see maybe another 10% from Boston United in the second half. In what ways do you want to see that?
I'd just like to see, a bit more, 10% of quality on the ball, 10% in that press, which you've just seen, Curzon's pressing there. It's the press, what happens behind him. Someone sets the press, and it's what happens behind then, Dale, is what I want to see. A little bit more energy, a little bit more desire to win that ball back. When you're at home, you've got to get the fans on your side, and Yeovil will be sat here thinking, as a management team and a team, it's quiet, we're doing our job. Ultimately, Boston's job is to excite the fans.
It has been a very quiet atmosphere here at the Jamans this afternoon, but like you say, it's the players need the fans and the fans need the players. It's one of them, isn't it? It's another long ball forward from Carson, which Curzons is going to chase and does really well to get there first for Boston United. He's down the left-hand side in the area, plays it back to Kennebo up against Sims, trying to make himself some space now. Kennebo to the byline, he's gone out for a goal kick.
It's unfortunate, and you've got Carson there supporting, and it looked like he was trying to do almost an underlap, but actually I don't know why he hasn't just gone. If you're going to make that kind of run, just get himself in the box as an extra body, because he's not going to get the cut back there, so he might as well have just got himself in the box and provided that extra opportunity to score.
I suppose it's the not quite knowing what Abo's going to do, isn't it?
Absolutely.
For Carson. And
I don't think you can. I don't think you can be predictable with Abo,
I agree.
because if you want him to be predictable, you're going to take a bit away from what his game's about. But certainly for me, you've got to get him on the ball more. If you don't get Abo on the ball, he's a luxury player, and sometimes he might have to make way for others that do things slightly differently.
Well, the Bourne game had an early goal in the first half. They went behind in the first minute. They're now leading 2-1. Zach Allen with a goal for Bourne. They've turned that one around as Boston United are coming forward. Abo again on that left-hand side, seeing the ball a bit already in this second half. This time pulls it back to Carson. Low ball in! Oh, and it was Barrington arriving. He got a foot to it, just didn't quite connect with it properly, and it trickled through to the goalkeeper.
Yeah, I think there's a little bit of surprise upon him there as that ball came through. It was a good dummy, I think, from the front, which might have been Richards, and he, like you say, Dale, he didn't just get that connection. If you get a firm connection there, I think it's 2-1 Boston.
Yes, I agree, and it's already that left-hand side for Boston we talk about. That's the side they've had a lot of defending to do, and Mark Clifford said in the first half, but if they can try and attack a bit more, it also nullifies the Yeovil threat and get Abo involved more, and he's been involved already a couple of times at the start of this second half. But it is 1-1, and Boston have the ball with the man who scored their goal. Jake Rooney takes a couple of touches before playing it across to Grimes, looking for the options ahead, and again goes for the long one towards Maguire. It's overhit and through to the keeper.
Yeah, it's just, I think he thought Maguire was going to make that run there, but he didn't. He kind of pressed in to go and come and get it short. So just some teething problems there.
Yeah, that's a ball forward from one of the middle, Fafico, and they've dispossessed. Boston win it back. Richards finds Rooney. Another ball forward over the top towards Barrington, just again slightly overhit. They're looking to get him behind. That seems to be the tactic at the start of this second half.
Yeah, I think so. I think I mentioned it in the first half, Dale. Sometimes you've got to play those few long balls to get the game stretched, so then try and get the ball into feet in behind the Yeovil midfield, and they've not quite been able to manage that throughout this game yet.
Curzons is going in on the goalkeeper every time there as Boston win a free kick. Gallagher definitely made sure the referee seen he'd been pushed there, and they're taking it quickly, and it's with Grimes And now Rooney, they've had a lot of ball at their feet in this match, the two centre halves. As Grimes has it again. Goes across to Carson, low ball forward to Maguire now, turns well. Frankie Maguire plays the ball in towards Barrington, inside the area. Luca Barrington with the shot, saved by the goalkeeper and cleared. Goalkeeper flaps it. Barrington again didn't quite connect as maybe hard as he'd liked. It's a decent save. It's a great chance for Boston. Really good play now. Maguire on the right hand side as they look to try and come forward again. Rooney back to Frankie Maguire as it looks to play a 1-2 here. Maguire trying to get on the end of it. It's well defended in the end by Terrell Works, but they haven't cleared it yet. It's won back well by Connor Teal. Now Barrington, left-footed cross towards the back post of Bow. It goes over his head and out for a goal kick. It's a great chance for Barrington.
Great chance for Barrington. And you know, we spoke about getting our number 10 Maguire into those positive areas.
Yep.
That was an opportunity there that he got himself in a great area, spun well. Barrington made a great inverted run, great touch. Looked to be on his stronger side and didn't quite make the contact. You know, he needed a real clear cut.
He's not hit it properly.
Yeah.
Keeper's done well still because he got the accuracy, he didn't get the power.
Absolutely, and you know, he's still kind of, you know, panned it out a little bit, and Curzons has tried to follow up and just wasn't to be on this time, but much better in terms of getting Maguire into those positions where he's so effective.
It's first bit of real quality we've seen of the game from Boston United in that build-up. As they've started this second half a lot better than they played in the first half. Grimes has it now for them. Yeovil yet to do anything really in an attacking sense in the first 6 minutes of this second half. Teal plays the ball down the line. Barrington again seeing a lot of the ball in this second half. It's his cross towards the Bow, headed away by Yeovil. Gallagher then will head the ball out to the left hand side where Matty Carson picks it up, looks for his spot, playing it in towards Curson's over him and gathered in by the keeper.
Yeah, he seems to be very comfortable on both feet, doesn't he, Barrington? He's whipped one in previously just in front of us with his left, and then he's just equally put a great ball into the box with his right. So, you know, he's certainly one of those players to watch. It's been exciting to watch. He makes some really good runs off the ball to create space for himself and for others. So it's been interesting to see him this game in particular.
He looks a clever player, doesn't he?
Very smart, yeah, his movement's smart, Dale.
Alex Whittle, the former Boston player, plays that ball long. It's headed away by Grimes, and then Gallagher flicks the header on, but Yeovil do pick it up with Brett McGavin, and he's fouled by Gallagher. The referee waves a good advantage, and it's the first time we've seen Sims in this second half coming forward for Yeovil. McGavin is still down for the visitors, and they still have the ball, but I think the captain Jack Wannell just saying kick it out, but then McGavin gets back up and he's now on the ball and gets it again from Wannell. Plays it across to the number 2 Joy McKenna, who played right back in their last match, has been brought to play into the middle of a back four today with Ferguson coming in as the right back, and now the referee just having a word with Oshin Gallagher. It was a late one from him on McGavin as we get the attendance.
Yeah, it was. He just got there a fraction too late and almost left one on him a little bit, but ultimately that's his job in midfield, is to be working around and ratting around, and sometimes ultimately you get there a little bit late, Dale.
I got that wrong. It wasn't the attendance, it was they've been collecting for the game, and it was the how much they've made here at Boston United. And it is still 1-1 as Yeovil have the ball, and they'll just be looking to have a bit of possession really, as Boston have made a really good start to the second half, and this is a good run from Terrell Works. Plays the ball across that edge of the area. Richard did really well for Boston United, cleared by Grimes, and Curzons wins a free. No, he doesn't win a free kick. So I thought the referee, the way he was pointing there, he'd given a free kick, but he wasn't interested, and Sims has it again for the visitors. Plays that ball towards Jarvis, who's offside. 1-1.
Yeah, I think the previous foul there you just talked about, Dale, was a little bit of both players got hold of each other. I don't think it was either way a foul. I think sometimes it just happens. There's a bit of a tussle, and the ball just moves on, and the ref was right to let it play on.
Another goal in the Bourne game. It's now 2-2 between them and Lichfield, and Callum Griffin with a penalty in the 52nd minute. We'll hear from Graham Cowell following the end of this match. 2-2 there, 1-1 here. Boston trying to come down the right through Teal. Whittle now has it for Yeovil, and they look to play a 1-2 down the side, but Rooney read that early and read it well, and now he's bringing the ball forward. Jake Rooney into Curzons, back to Oshin Gallagher. Seen a lot of the ball in that midfield area. The Lincoln City lonely ball across from Richards is intercepted by Sims, and now they're coming forward. The Glovers down the right. Boston some defending to do. It's Sims against Carson, as it has been for most of the game. It's with Brett McGavin, plays it across to Jake Wannell, and it's the visitors who certainly seem a totally different side to the one that played Boston back at the end of November. Wannell has it again, the skipper, but the ball forward is intercepted by Gallagher, who ends up winning Boston United to throw him. But again, there just a minute ago, see now that the cleverness of Rooney, he read that 1-2 so early, didn't he?
He did. He just reads the game so well. He just plays the game so effortlessly, and it's because of his football intelligence that allows him to do that and glide. And he always looks like he's wins the race, Dale, in terms of being defending in any position that he's in. But that's because he's already anticipating where the ball's going to be and where the threats might be, and he puts himself in good positions.
Teal has it for Boston United to Gallagher. Does well to switch that ball across to Grimes, who under a bit of pressure very coolly turns his man. Carson plays it inside to Jordan Richards for Boston United. It's 1-1 here on BBC Radio Lincolnshire. Rooney across to Teal inside the Boston United half. Rooney and Teal combining again before Gallagher picks it up in midfield and finds Grimes. Takes a couple of touches, and Barrington again there wanting the ball down this right hand side, and then he's come inside to pick it up there. Barrington's a clever ball into Maguire, plays it in towards Curzons, gets there before the keeper, round the keeper, off the line. Really good defending there by the captain Wannell. Curzons did really well to go past the keeper Ward, and then the defender did well.
Yeah, excellent. Again, Maguire getting in that position, getting in that space, and then giving the quality. Good run by Curzons, gone round the goalkeeper. Dale, I think he's got to do better with that. I think he'll be disappointed.
I'm not sure the shot was going in.
I don't think it was, to be honest.
Looked like it off the line, but
I think he'll be disappointed with that. I think he'd gone round, and I think yes, it's an angle, but ultimately, I think he should favour himself to put that in.
Yellow card for Oshin Gallagher, and I think that's persistent fouling.
Yeah, it is.
He had a word with him on the last one, so while the referee's still talking to Oshin Gallagher, a reminder that Lincoln City won the early kick-off today. This is your second game on BBC Radio Lincolnshire. 3-1 against Stockport. They're still top of the table. Cardiff are leading 2-0, so that gap will go back to 4 points clear at the top. But as it stands, it'll be 15 points clear of third in the automatic places, because Bolton drew and Bradford are trailing at Wigan. Plenty more reaction to come from that game after this game on Hope and Glory with Michael Horton, as well as Red Imps Club, which is on BBC Sounds now. Here from Michael Squala and the skipper Tendai Doriqua. Also between 5 and 6 we'll have reaction to this game. Paul Hurst, one of the Boston United players, as Yeovil are making a change here and taking an awful long time about it. And well, they've put the number 30 up. They haven't got a number 30. I think that's where the confusion is. It's Terrell Works to be replaced by James Daly, but he put 30 up and it's 38. And again, it's not just us struggling with Yeovil's numbers, as Christian gives me a shake of the head. He's got to try and announce what the fourth official's saying. All confusion here at Boston. But anyway, there's the change, and Daly is on. And Yeovil still haven't taken this free kick for that foul by Gallagher, and it will be Wannell to take it. Long one. Grimes does well to get that ball away, and then needs a second prod at the ball. A bow twists in to try and win the ball, but doesn't get there, and McGavin now will play the ball out to Sim on the right hand side for Yeovil. Him and Jones outstanding in that first half, a lot quieter. Boston have nullified that threat very well so far in this second half, and it's with the goalkeeper Ward. He goes long. We've had an hour gone. 1-1. Boston were trailing through a goal from Jarvis, and then Jake Rooney's third goal for the club made it 1-1, and it's Boston that have really had the chances to take the lead, Mark.
Yes,
I can't
it
remember
is.
Yeovil having one.
No, they've not had one yet. It is certainly a bit more positive. We asked for, it said it needs to do a little bit more, probably 10%, and probably functioning around the 7% mark at the moment in terms of that effort. But again, there's still room for improvement, isn't there, in terms of that passing in the middle to final third to really open up Yeovil, like they've shown spells of doing. And then it's that 3% extra just to get the goal over the line.
Teal for Boston United plays the ball long towards Maguire. Wannell comes across for Yeovil. He's taken the touch. He tries to shield off Maguire, clears it, and then it's flipped back on. Boston trying to win this one now with Maguire. Then Barrington headed it up but not forward, and then Gallagher can't keep it in as he ends up in the advertising hoarding right in front of us. He's okay, and Yeovil have themselves a throw in as Spalding, who trail at home to Hales Owen, are now down to 10 men. Yusufu Cisse sent off for a second yellow card. Still 1-0 to Hales Owen in that game. Spalding need to find some form as they look like they're going to end up in the playoffs, but you just never know in football. As Richards has it for Boston United. Carson inside the centre circle plays the ball forward to a Bowes, very central Kenna Bow, and just heading over to that left hand side now as Teal has it on the right, gets the ball back to Jake Rooney, and now it's with Jamie Grimes for Boston United inside to Jordan Richards, and now Carson. And Boston have also had a lot more possession in this second half than we saw in the first, and it's with them again in midfield with Gallagher. Carson, the left back, goes back to his skipper Jamie Grimes, brings the ball forward looking for the options ahead of him, but goes across to Rooney. It's a good ball out to the right hand side where Teal had made a move forward. Good control from Teal to go back to Barrington, who's behind Connor Teal at the moment. Rooney now to to Luca Barrington. Plays it across to Grimes. Tries to find a Bow, but Sims did well to intercept that, and they're coming forward down their right hand side, Yeovil, and it's with Sims. He's got options in the penalty area. Bow does well to get back and stop that first cross. Sims has it again up against Kenna Bowes, won the ball back for Boston United. He's done well there. Then he was dispossessed, but wins a goal kick.
He's just getting caught on his heels there, Bow, isn't he? Grimes just played a ball out to him, and the fullback's been able to come in front of him and get the ball. And for me, he's a player you've got to keep feeding the ball to. Otherwise, I think what you get is what you see in here. His confidence starts to lack, and you can see he's looking up to the skies. And he's thinking, "Come on, I need to get myself in the game." He's a sort of player you've got to keep on the ball. If not, for me, is a luxury, and I think I've mentioned that earlier. Sometimes that's probably why we see when he comes on into games, it's a lot more exciting, because at the moment we're not seeing that exciting Bow that we've all seen.
Well, Yeovil have made their second change with Finn Coulson-Dawson coming on for Ryan Jones. Bit of a surprise, Ryan Jones going on.
Yeah, I thought he'd done all right. Maybe it's a tactical, maybe they've changed formation, just want to keep an eye out for, because Boston have been slightly on top, and maybe they're thinking about being a bit more solid.
And it's the Pilgrims that have the ball now with Oshin Gallagher bringing this ball forward. That's a clever ball to Maguire now, right hand side into the area. Maguire shoots near post, pushed away by the goalkeeper. Boston have their first corner of the game.
Yeah, good effort there again from Maguire, and he's growing in. He must have been listening at half time, because he certainly stepped his game up, Dale, and he only had that on. He had a very tight option as a shot. It's the only thing he had on. No one had kind of been able to keep up with his pace, and he gets a good shot away and wins his team a corner.
It's their first corner of the second half. I should say, I completely forgot they had one right on half time where they just gave the ball away. Boston United, but
I'm not sure they'll count that one.
Well, I actually hadn't written it down. But it is their second corner. Matty Carson with the in-swinger to take it. He's got Barrington for the short option. They will be 2-on-1 if they do go short here, Boston United. Barrington runs away. Here goes Carson then towards the back post, and it goes over everybody and out for a goal kick.
Yeah, disappointing. You work on set plays. We've been very complimentary of the team with the set plays, and you've seen one in the first half that they've not been able to quite execute, which was a short one, and that one they kicked straight out back at the back of the far stick. That's frustrating as a manager, that, because you've got the quality in abundance, and you really want to put the ball on the money for your boys to go ahead.
We've seen the quality of Carson though with the goal.
Absolutely,
we know he can deliver.
Yeah. And sometimes, Dale, it's just don't try and be too smart with it and try and get too much pace.
Boston
Just get the ball in the area.
Sorry, Mark. Boston have picked the ball up high up the pitch here. A Bow came inside. You can hear the groans from the crowd because he's given the ball away. As Yeovil coming forward, Teal stops the attacking run from Daly. With Bow there, he did well to win it high up, and then he's just given it away.
Well, they gave it. I don't think he's done well to win it. I think he's just stood there. It's a weak pass from them. He's ended up with the ball, but then he's giving it away. For me, I'd start thinking about a change in that area. If you're going to be more effective, Hiwula has been really strong in recent weeks, and maybe a good option.
Well, there's Hiwula, there's McCarron, who we get to see a lot of here at Boston United, attackingly. Lavernier can certainly play high up the pitch as well, if needed. Boston United got a man down at the moment. It is Rooney, and Yeovil are coming forward now. Teal comes across and does really well there, Connor Teal. And we hope Rooney's okay.
Yeah, I saw one. I think he just kicked through and hit the studs of the Yeovil player.
Latest scores in the National League then. At the moment, as we've had 66 minutes played here, Boston 1, Yeovil 1. It's Aldershot nil, York 2. York will be going back to the top at the moment, with Rochdale playing in one of 3 evening kickoffs in the National League. Gateshead are on a remarkable run. They're having a real go at copying what Boston did last season with a great escape, and they lead by a goal to nil. You've probably heard from Christian there, 1,964, 80 away fans from Yeovil. Rooney, lost him. Has he gone off? No, he's okay. The ball is back in play, and it's back with the goalkeeper, Dan Cameron. Other scores then, just quickly from the National League. Halifax 2, Bournemouth 2 in a game near the top, and Tamworth have just levelled against Carlisle 1-1 there. Carlisle in third, Boston United's opponents next week. And Truro 0, Hartlepool 1. Truro look like they're going down. Ball forward now, Curzons, he's onside and he's in on goal. It's Curzons, tries to get around the goalkeeper, who gets a hand to it, twice gets a hand to it. Curzons battling away here. Curzons has no goalkeeper, looks to pull it back, and they've dealt with it. Yeovil clear. It's really good defending from the number 14, Brett McGavin. Well, Curzons goes around the keeper, gets a hand to it, then Curzons tried to get the ball again. The keeper gets a second hand to it. Curzons is then past the goalkeeper down the right. Look for the pullback. A bow was coming in. Yeovil had men back despite no goalkeeper. McGavin gets a toe to it. Corner to Boston.
And I can see the frustration in Curzons. You know, I didn't want to say it earlier, but maybe that finish against Rochdale's weighing on him a little bit, because he, again, a great position for him there to really do what Tom Curzons does.
Boston have a corner to be taken by Carsons towards the head of Gallagher, who gets there, hits Teal, but it will be cleared, and Tim, well, he just puts his arms out asking for a free kick and gets one. Geordie Hiwula's coming on for Cannabo, as predicted by Mystic Mark.
Absolutely, it was what was needed. It should give Boston another dimension, I think, going forward.
Yeah, Cannabo is struggled to get into the game today. There's no question of the guy's talent. Geordie Hiwula, who will probably have been disappointed not to start today, comes on with about 23 minutes to go. Finally had a goal in the 2 Premier League games as well. Sunderland 0, Brighton 1 in that match. We'll have a roundup of everything in the final hour on BBC Radio Lincolnshire with Michael Horton. So following the conclusion of this match, there's a ball down the line for Rooney to steer with, and he goes back to Cameron. It's a heavy back pass, but Dan Cameron has to run a little bit, but he'll get across there. As Cardiff have added a third, so they'll definitely 3-0 up at Exeter, so the gap for Lincoln City at the top will be still the 4 points following their 3-1 win against Stockport early today. But it's still Wigan 1, Bradford 0, and if that stays the same, Lincoln City will be 15 points clear of the playoff places in those automatic top 2. Incredible. 20 games unbeaten, the Imps today, a club record.
What a great effort that is, Dale. At any level of football, to go 20 unbeaten, it's magnificent. And I hope they can keep pushing and ultimately make it a title win, not just be satisfied with promotion, but go and win the league, go and do it in style.
Well, they're next in action. The games don't get any easier away at Huddersfield on Tuesday night, as Curzons fouls Sims here for Boston United. Their next game, they're not playing during the week, they're back in action next Saturday away at Carlisle. Rob Makepeace, Christian James will be your online commentary there for BBC Radio Lincolnshire, and then they're back here a week on Tuesday at home to Altrincham. Live on all formats on BBC Radio Lincolnshire. Myself, Dale Story and Peter Costello will be commentators for that one. Yeovil have a throw-in to be taken, thrown down the line. Gallagher will head that ball for Boston United. Then Rooney, under a bit of pressure, just hoofs that ball forward. Maguire can't get there, but Richards heads that one towards Curzons. Defender lets it bounce as Maguire tries to get in there. Barrington battling away, but Yeovil have managed to keep the, just as I say that, they kick the ball out. And Boston have a throw in for Connor Teal to take.
I think it feels like Boston's just slightly up there to intense on their press a little bit. It just feels like they're a bit more snappier in that midfield area, trying to really put pressure on them when the ball's in and around their feet, and they are making mistakes, Yeovil.
Geordie Hawula, who's set up down the left-hand side, plays the ball down to Carson, now low ball in, gathered by the keeper.
Got to pull it back there. Can't go across the goal there. He's got to just try and get an angle back towards the middle of the goal, the 6 yard. You're aiming really for the 6 yard line there when you're in that sort of area for your striker to come and get his tap in.
Well, they had 3 in the box there as well. There was Curzons, Maguire and Barrington. But Yeovil eventually dealt with it, and 1-0 there. Skipper plays it across to Ferguson. Now Sims on that, over on the right hand side, gets the ball back to Sims, and they're coming forward. Yeovil, who did lead, was a very long time ago, as Jarvis looks to play the ball through. It comes off a Boston player and goes through to the goalkeeper Cameron, who drops it and passes the ball to Jake Rooney.
I don't think you can say there hasn't been chances for Boston today. Yes, they've had probably more chances than Yeovil, probably clear-cut chances as well, Dale, and ultimately, you know, hopefully it doesn't come to cost them at the end of the game.
They are clear-cut chances as well, aren't
they are clear-cut chances. They're not half chances, they're clear-cut chances, and I think there's been 3, which I think, you know, they'll be disappointed with when they watch them back.
When you say the 3, what, 2 for Curzons and 1 for Barrington?
Barrington, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, all in the second half as well.
Yeah, which shows just slight improvement and in terms of that intensity that we wanted to see.
Well, the goal locally, it's now Spalding 0, Hales 0-2. Ben Cassidy with the goal in the 65th minute. We'll have Jimmy Dean's reaction to that in the final hour of Hope and Glory. Dave Remnant, our reporter, is there for BBC Radio Lincolnshire. We'll hear from him following the conclusion of this game. So 2-0 to Hales, and it's not been the best of weeks for Spalding. Barrington now for Boston United, just trying to get past too many players there, and he's dispossessed. Daly for Yeovil plays the ball back, but Boston has won it back. Now Maguire on the right hand side, he's looking for options, and there's the ball across to Hawula. What a ball! Hawula, what a finish! Fantastic goal from Boston United. The pass from Maguire was quality. The touch and finish from Geordie Hawula was fantastic. Boston 2, Yeovil 1.
What a goal from Boston there. The ball from the back into Frankie Maguire, who we spoke about, needs to find those spaces in the pitch, and his quality has shown. What a touch from Hawula and what a finish. I think that's a very underrated first touch and a very, very composed finish.
Well, it's his 6th goal of the season for Geordie Hawula, who's just come on. He's a man that we felt needed to come on. The pass from Maguire was fantastic. He looked up and he knew what he wanted to do. And Hawula, wow, talk about cool finish as well.
Cool finish, and you know, I'm going to say, you know, before half time I was quite critical of Frankie Maguire, but it's certainly his second half. He must have had a word with himself. The manager must have just reassured him, told him how good of a player he is when he's on the ball, where he needs to get on the ball, because every time he's got on the ball in those areas, he has created those chances for his team, Dale. Well, if you think about the 2 Curzons opportunities, if you think about the Barrington opportunity, that's come from Maguire, and this goal has come from Maguire.
Totally agree. Everything Boston have done good in this second half has at some point involved Frankie Maguire. Yeovil got a player down at the moment. Telly now another goal in the game at Bourne. It's now 3-2 to Lichfield. Jack Edwards has put them back in front, so it's Bourne 2, Lichfield 3. And Stamford still winning their game by 2-0. And Lincoln United trailing at Consett by 2-1. Spalding 0, Hales 0-2. No game for Gainsborough Trinity today. They're back in action on Tuesday night at home to Hyde. And we're still waiting for this game to get back underway, really. But Jordi Hawula, who I think I got his name wrong in the build-up there with excitement. But apologies if that sounded. It's not the easiest of names to say quickly, Hawula. But anyway, it's 2-1 to Boston United, and Spalding have pulled one back now. Sarni with the goal with 20 minutes to go there. Maybe we're going to see a comeback from the Tulips. After all, it was Kyle Ferguson, that was down injured following that goal for Boston United. And, well, now you'd fancy them even more, because Yeovil are going to have to come out, and Boston on the count have certainly got players that can cause problems. They're keeping the shape, as Hawula now has it on the left-hand side. Hawula's first touch? Has he had his goal? Has he touched the ball before that?
I'm not sure, to be honest.
I can't remember. Anyway, ball switched over to Barrington, headed away in the air. Teal heads that ball forward onto Maguire. Good touch down to Curzons, tries to get it back to Frankie Maguire. Dispossessed there, Boston back, then that's a foul by Barrington on number 5, Hudson Dawson.
Great link-up play there again. You can just see that this really starting to, really enjoy playing together. Obviously, it takes, 10-15 games really to build relationships and get to know people's style of football. And I'm talking about Maguire and Curzons and the way they're starting to really link together. And like we've said previously, I think you add Big Lenny into the mix there. I think there's a frightening front three emerging for Boston United.
Well, Lenny John Lewis is on the bench. If he doesn't need to use him, I don't think he will. The manager, or maybe a 10-minute spell. Maybe we'll find out.
It's not muscular, is it? So for me, as long as he's not feeling any pain and he's been given the all clear, what he needs now is minutes. If it was muscular, I'd totally agree. No, not to risk him. But the bottom line is the only thing that's going to get him right now is his minutes in the tank.
Well, we shall find out. Yeovil have got another 2 subs preparing to come on. As, Brackley side that are really struggling in the National League. Nil, Woking 3. Woking have scored 3 in 8 minutes. 8 second-half minutes to lead by 3 goals to 0 there in the National League. It's also Southend 2, Forest Green 0 in that battle for the playoffs. Here it's Boston United 2, Yeovil 1. We're going to see 2 changes from Yeovil. No, we're not from this, are we? No, 4th officials got the ball, but Yeovil chosen to take the throw-in over on the right-hand side, and that's going to go out for a goal kick. So here come the 2 changes. As things stand, Boston United will go up to 11th, Wilson winning the early kick-off. So when I say they can get back into the top 10, they're wrong, because Wilson won the lunchtime game by 5 goals to 1, but 11th would be good as well. Here come the changes then. So Ferguson, who had just been down injured a minute ago, he's replaced by Troy Perrott. First change, and then the second one, Miller Matthews Lewis is coming on. They've signed him on loan from Burton Albion this week, and he will replace the former Pilgrim Alex Whittle. So making his debut for Yeovil. Boston coming from behind in this match to lead by 2 goals to 1, and Cameron will take this goal kick for the Pilgrims, and game management comes into play now, as well as lots of other things for Boston United as they look to get themselves another goal maybe, as Maguire nearly got the end of there. It was a good flick on from Curzons, who's going to go up in the air again here, beat in the air this time, but Gallagher picks it up for Boston United, tries to get out to the left-hand side. He's fouled though, Oshin Gallagher. Good referee in there, tried to play the advantage. Free kick.
Took the words right out of my mouth there, Dale. He allowed that just to play on for a split second, and then just, ultimately it was a blatant pullback, but it stopped the attack. You quite often nowadays see yellow cards for those, Dale. Not that I'm advocating people getting booked, but it is stopping an opponent progressing up the field.
Yeah, just the 1 yellow card in the game. That was Oshin Gallagher. Woking have added a 4th at Brackley. Here's Barrington now for Boston on the right-hand side, looking to take his man on. He's got both feet he can use. It's his left foot. He crossed to the back post. Really well headed away. Grimes looked like he was in there for a second. Hawula prods it forward. Yeovil clear. And now it's with Carson on the halfway line, all on his own, and chooses to go back to his goalkeeper.
Barrington's causing all kinds of problems for the Yeovil fullback because he doesn't know which foot he wants to be on. I mentioned it earlier on, he can go off both feet. That's a problem for a fullback, Dale, because ultimately you say, I want to show him down the line or I want to show him inside, but he can do it both. He's been really impressed with him this afternoon.
Well, Tamworth have taken the lead against Carlisle. Tamworth are the team that Boston could overtake, but Yeovil are coming forward now. Boston have got a player down, and they've got the trainer on before the referee had said come on. I can't see who it is that's down. Is it Gallagher?
Yeah,
no, he stood next to the referee.
He hasn't stopped the game, and he's straight on there, you know.
Yeah.
Not sure what the rulings are on that, but ultimately I think
it's Rooney.
It is Rooney, yeah, it is
Rooney.
Landed really hard. He come up again, one player going for the ball, one player trying to back in. He's landed really awkwardly.
It's interesting when you talk about the rulings in the game, when I'm sure you have to be told by the referee to come onto the pitch.
You should normally.
Ref hadn't stopped the game.
I think there was enough concern from the physio there, and you probably might see the ref have a word with him just to say, you know, I've not given the green light there, and the fourth official's there for a reason as well, isn't he?
But then if you're the the physio and you think, oh gosh, this looks really bad, you want to get there as soon as possible.
Absolutely.
Rooney's back up. Referee, I think he's just having a quick word now. Rooney wants to go off for the 30 seconds, but of course he's going to have to. And no silly reactions there from the referee either.
Sensible.
You know, definitely.
Everything was done there with the best interest of the player, and you know, it wasn't like there was a goal scoring opportunity. Boston was about to regain possession of the ball, and the physio felt it deemed it necessary to get on there and make sure his player was okay, because he didn't move after the initial landing.
So Boston United, will be a drop ball from the referee. Rooney looks like he's going to be okay. A couple of times he's been down in the last few minutes for the Pilgrims, and they drop it to the feet of Grimes across to Barrington, who heads the ball forward, but he'd have to chase after his own header. And Boston United really waiting to come back on, but it's got to be the 32nd. So the Pilgrims leading by 2-1 here. Marcel Lavinier is ready to come on for Boston United as well. That'll be an interesting one. My guess will be Barrington.
Yeah. Maybe as they just look to shore things up a little bit defensively as well, possibly.
Which Barrington's first start for Boston United. He's not had a club this season, so he's getting match fitness, isn't it?
Absolutely.
So, but we'll find out in a minute. Ball forward from Yeovil, headed away by Carson, who has got some more defending to do here up against Sim. It's been a fascinating battle, and Sim gets the ball in, headed away by Rooney, who's back on the pitch now, by the way. Barrington picks the ball up for the Pilgrims to Curzon, lays it off to Hawula. Boston United are coming forward. Hawula, Maguire's got space on the right. Hawula can find him, but he chooses to go left to Curzon's inside the area. The touch just takes him wide. Maguire was the pass there, but Boston play on. Barrington switches it across to Tail on the right hand side. Maguire, well, he does well to keep the ball. Frankie Maguire, the player right next to him. Boston keep possession. It's still 2-1. Carson comes inside before going back to Grimes. Back to Matty Carson. He comes across to Rooney. Teal into Gallagher. Good ball forward to Maguire. Dispossessed by the defender, but Barrington wins it. Maguire is clattered into there. The defender did really well. It was a great tackle. Maguire just feeling his ankle there, but I think he's going to be okay. Well, he's back up now and looking to try and get the ball. He's dispossessed. But Gallagher, has he won Boston a throw in? I think he has. Yes, he has. And now we're going to see Marcel Lavinier come on for Luca Barrington.
Good play there. You know, Boston, they found one area of the pitch shut down. They were prepared to just rebuild, change the point of attack, come back round. Much more assured from Boston in possession of the ball. Game management really looking a lot better.
Well, it's the first we've seen of Luca Barrington from the start, and I think as the game's gone on, he's got better.
He's been excellent, and I think you're absolutely on the money with the only reason he's coming off is down to, you know, the games, and we don't want to really risk him in terms of any muscle injuries. And Lavinier does provide a good opportunity to shore things up defensively when needed as well.
A bit of extra support for Connor Teal. So 2-1 to Boston United here, with plenty of reaction to come from this game, as well as reflection on that victory for Lincoln City. There's a ball down the line to Curzon's on the left hand side. Curzon's does well, gets the ball in towards Lavinier. It might come out to Maguire. Maguire, great touch, and scuffs his shot, and it's gathered in by the keeper. He did the hard bit, as he puts his head in his shirt and he scuffed his shot.
That's another chance there, Dale, as well.
It is.
Yeah, it's another chance. I think that's 4 clear-cut chances now. The game could be well out of sight on another day.
It certainly could. And also Lavernier doing everything he could to get in the penalty area there. He's just come on. So, like I say, we've got reaction to the Lincoln City win against Stockport to come. Red Imps Club is available on BBC Sounds. Michael Squala, the manager, as well as Tendai Droriqua, as Boston are coming forward now. It's with Lavernier on the right-hand side. Takes a touch. He's got Maguire in the box, but comes it back to Oshin Gallagher. And now Teal. And Boston United will start again with Rooney. Plays the ball forward to Maguire. Takes a shove in the back from the defender, but does well to keep possession. And that's what Boston are doing well here at the moment on BBC Radio Lincolnshire. It's with Cameron, the goalkeeper. He's kicked quite reached Maguire at halfway, but it's flipped back, and Frankie will try and win this ball back for Boston United. Now it's with the keeper, as Spalding have come back from 2 down to draw. No, sorry, to get a 2-2 at the moment. 2-2 there at Spalding. Jack Roberts with the goal, but this is Daly for Yeovil. He's done really well to make space into the penalty area. Great save with the legs from Cameron, and then headed away by Jordan Richards. Yeovil still got it again, and then in goes the ball looping towards Cameron, who just for a second there, I thought it was going in.
That could have been very innocuous, and that was going into the goal, Dale. But that seemed very, very easy, just to run straight through the centre of the pitch.
He started from his own half, Daly, hasn't he? He's got a great save with his legs from Cameron. And this is, you just don't want those chances missed from Boston to come back and have them regret it, really, as Lavernier has the ball at the moment on that right-hand side, pulls it back to Gallagher. It's 2-1 to the Pilgrims here. It could have been 2-2 though. It could have been 4-1 to Boston at the chances they've had. So just sorry, what I was talking about then, as Daly went through, I kind of changed topic there. Spalding 2-2 against Halezone. Jack Roberts with his 21st of the campaign for the Tulips. They've come from 2 down against Halezone, and with Harborough drawing 1-1 with Rail Bedford, if Spalding can find a winner, it may just be another twist in the title race tale between Spalding and Harborough. But anyway, here Boston United have got a game to try and make sure they win. They've got 3.5 minutes plus stoppage time to try and do it. BBC Sounds for all the Boston United reaction during the week. Go on to BBC Sounds, search Boston United for the Boston United podcast. Paul Hurst, one of the Boston United players, we'll be having a chat to following this game, and then it'll be on the Boston United podcast later this evening.
See, Dale, that press there, you know, when I talk about that 10%, that press there from Teal, then as the ball's going into the fullback, he's allowed the ball to be passed down the side of him. You cannot allow that as a fullback. He has to be on the player, on the touch. And again, if you're going to hold on to wins against teams, you've got to have that desire to get there and put pressure on every player around. So the pass from the Yeovil players is backwards or sideways. That's what the intent needs to be now from a defensive point of view for Boston. But you've got to show desire to do it.
Well, Frankie Maguire has won them a throw from nothing really there, through pressing and desire that Mark Clifford mentioned, and Boston have the possession back now with Rooney. Teal for the Pilgrims. Rooney again into Oshin Gallagher. Ball forward to Maguire on the right-hand side. What a second half he's had, and that's really unlucky. Oh, he's won a corner. I thought that came off Maguire. It bobbled and bounced. I thought it caught his heel, but the defender's come across anyway. Boston have a corner.
They've worked it well again. They've just worked it into the wide areas, just pulling the left full back of Yeovil out of shape to play that ball in down the side for Maguire again, who's been absolutely fantastic this second half.
He certainly has, hasn't he? It's certainly be a game of two halves for Frankie Maguire. Proving yet again what a crucial player he is for Boston United, who have a corner. Carson to take it, will be an in-swinger. They have not looked a threat from corners so far today, Boston United. Let's hope I'm wrong here with Carson with it towards the back post. It's headed away. It'll come to Maguire, who plays it back to Lavernier. He's the furthest man back, but he's still well inside the Yeovil half. Now Carson on his left foot towards the back post, headed away. Grimes had stayed up. Carson wins it back again and plays a good ball out to the left-hand side where Maguire has it. Comes inside now, Frankie Maguire gets to the edge of the penalty area, dinks the ball in towards Curzons. Well defended there by the number 2 McKenna, heads it back to his keeper.
Yeah, good defending from him there. I think, he just needed to get a little bit on it and he'll go back into his keeper's hands.
And we await the stoppage time, Bob. We're into the 90th minute of the match. Boston were trailing through Aaron Jarvis's goal, but then Jake Rooney with a header and Jordi Hawula with such a good goal from a Boston United point of view to lead by 2-1. The super sub, Hawula. It's Boston United looking to pick up points after coming from behind. There's a ball out and Teal as well to come across. Boston playing 2 subs. We're going to see Linnell John Lewis for the final few minutes, and Greg Sloggett. What 2 subs to be able to bring on?
Yeah, absolutely. And yeah, he won't be for Curzons, but ultimately, we will see them together at some point. And I clearly do think the same way as the manager, because I predicted the substitution of Hawula, and ultimately this is about minutes for Linnell. Welcome back.
And Frankie Maguire, the other player, going off. Just a quick word on Curzons. Yes, he's missed the chances, but overall, again, he's such a handful as a centre forward. And then Maguire, we've spoken about his quality in this second half.
Despite Curzons missing his chances, he's been fantastic. He's worked so hard. And like I said in the first half, sometimes you've got to ask your striker to stop running off the ball, because you need him to have all his energy about him when he's getting into chances.
It seems to be a common theme here at Boston that subs are made just as the fourth official wants to put his board up, but he finally gets it up, and we've got 6 minutes added on here, which seems quite a lot.
A lot of subs.
But, then again, Rooney injury as well, although he's fine, he's still on the pitch, Jake Rooney. And we are nearly a minute into that 6 here on BBC Radio Lincolnshire. Then we'll get back to Michael Horton in the BBC Radio Lincolnshire studio for a roundup of everything that's been going on this afternoon, both locally and all the scores nationally as well. Reaction to that wonderful win for Lincoln City, and hopefully we will get reaction to a win for Boston, but they've got some defending to do at the moment. Sims down the right hand side, low ball in, Boston flinging bodies in the way, and it's cleared by Richards, and now Linnell John Lewis holds the ball up. I thought he did really well. I looked at Mark Clifford for a nod, and then the ball didn't quite reach Lavernier, who does win a throw-in.
He did everything.
But that's what Lenny does.
He does everything that that Lenny does. But just as you said, he's done it excellently. Nearly gave the ball away. But yeah, excellent. Welcome back to the big man.
Well, fully fit Linnell John Lewis and Tom Curzons. That's some firepower. Hawula has been playing better. Maguire. Barrington has been excellent today. Going forward, as John Lewis was bundled to the floor there, the referee not interested, and then Sloggett nearly gives away a free kick in midfield. In fact, he does.
Just ruin it now. Ultimately, the message has to be don't let anyone run past you. There's 5 minutes to go. You're going to make sure that you're on top of the game all over the pitch.
Long ball forward towards Daly, who has to cross it first time. Rooney's got ages to pick this one up for Boston United. We've got 4 minutes to go here on Hope and Glory, and Lavernier plays the ball down the line. He tried to get a touch off the opposition player. He didn't, and Yeovil have a throw in and have the ball back. And it's with Cusson Dawson. So they probably feel they deserve something from this game. McGavin plays the ball forward, and it's a long one to Sims, who's been a threat all game on their right hand side. Josh Sims brings the ball down, ignores the overlapping run before pulling the ball back. Now can Boston United deal with this threat? Sims looks to play the 1-2, but it's with the new man, the number 20, Matthews Lewis.
This is where you need the experience of your Grimes, your Rooneys, who have been excellent just to see this one over the line.
Low ball into the penalty area. Gallagher's done really well to get a toe to that, and then the goalkeeper, and he called for that, didn't he?
Yeah, he did.
Cameron, he did really well there, because it's hit Gallagher's foot. He was going to clear it, and the goalkeeper's come out and smothered it, and he can waste a few more seconds. We've had 3 minutes of the 6. It's still 2-1.
He's been excellent. He's not had a lot to do, but everything he's done really well.
His kick found the head of Lavernier. John Lewis can't pick that up. Foul by Sloggett. He's come on and that's his second foul in the space of a minute. Craig Sloggett. But
break it up. It's called breaking it up, Dale. It's not a foul. It's breaking it up.
Anyway, Yeovil are coming forward. They've got the ball as they look to try and find an equaliser. McKenna still with the centre. McGavin now plays the ball out to Ferguson. No, Ferguson's gone off. It's not Ferguson, it's Wano. Apologies. Plays the ball down the line. Sloggett's got some defending to do in the left back area. Just gets a toe to it. Back to Grimes. Did well there, Greg Sloggett.
Great ball.
Grimes then plays the ball up to Linnell John Lewis, who can bring it down on halfway and bring Jordi Hawula into play now for Boston United. His goal separates the two teams at the moment. Boston United And coming from behind, it would be there. It'd be 14 points this season from losing positions should they see this game out. And Lavinia's done well there to draw the foul from Daly, and with 2 minutes to go, win a free kick.
I tell you who's done very well there actually is Gallagher, because actually Gallagher's just got a little tug. I thought, oh, be careful son, you're on a yellow card. He just had a little tug on him which allowed Lavender to get back in, and he got himself a foul. I just thought then for a minute, just be careful Gallagher, it's the last thing you need is a red card.
So Frankie Maguire winning the sponsors player of the match, would you agree with that?
I would certainly, on his second half performance, and you do see players who score goals and hat-tricks in 10 minutes win player of the game awards, and I would absolutely agree with that one.
There we go, Jay Rooney with the ball forward. Lavinier headed it the wrong way. Sloggett goes in and heads the ball forward. He's the perfect player, Sloggett, when you're looking to see a game out. He really is.
He's won 2 really good headers there for his team.
And he's one of them that I think many feel he's unlucky not to be playing, but it's a squad game and he's certainly part of that. As Teal takes the touch, John Lewis would have been offside there, pleading his innocence there, Linnell John Lewis, but he was clearly offside.
The rules haven't changed since you've been gone, Lenny. It's the same rule.
It's only been 6 weeks. No, and getting back to full fitness, the new player, brilliant. Jacob Hazel's not far off a return as well. The injuries are looking more positive for Boston United, but it's Yeovil that are coming forward, and Sim has it again on that right hand side up against Jordi Hawula. Chooses to come inside. Hawula got a toe to it and he manages to find Rooney under a bit of pressure. Rooney probably could have done with just doing what Teal did there and booting that ball away. We've got 15 seconds of the 6 minutes added on here. Yeovil looking to try and find themselves an equaliser. Can Boston United continue this really good start under Paul Hurst? It'd be 3 wins, 3 draws in the 6 home games if they can see this one over the line. We've had the 6 minutes and the referee has blown his whistle, and Boston United have won the game. They've come from a goal behind. They were behind on 16 minutes. Aaron Jarvis with the finish, but a header from Rudy and then a cool finish from Jordi Hawula after great play from Frankie Maguire sees Boston United get the win, go back up to get further away from their opponents, I should say. They don't go up a place, they're still 12th in the table, but the goodness under Paul Hurst continues, Martin. There's just a couple of players for Boston United on the floor, exhausted at the moment.
Yeah, they've absolutely put a shift in, haven't they? And we have asked questions of them. First half wasn't good enough, second half they came out with a far better team, created far more clear-cut chances, probably could have been 4, easily 5, and absolutely deserved 3 points on the day, and I'm absolutely delighted for them.
And the story of the game also, it shows a lot. We talk about character, to come from behind when I think they probably deserved to be behind at the time, shows a lot of that character.
Absolutely, yeah, and ultimately that's what the manager's instilled into the team. That bit of belief, that being calm, not panicking at any stage of the game, and I think that's what we're starting to see from this Boston United team. They've been assured in that second half. They've been really assured.
Well, we've got plenty of reaction to come from this game, but we're going to round up everything on BBC Radio Lincolnshire with Michael Horton.
Yeah, guys, Boston United just a point off 10th now. I mean, they still want that 50 though, don't they, Mark? You always want that for safety, don't you?
Absolutely, and I spoke earlier, I think last week, Michael, actually, on your victorious trip back from Cardiff. I was speaking about points totals and where they'd probably want to be come the end of the season, and today needed to be 3 points. I think, forget about relegation, it's about them hitting, for me, another 15 points this season, and that will give them great momentum into next season, and I think next season could be really, really exciting. I know there's a long way to go yet, but you talk about the signings they've got, what they've got coming back from injury, how they might strengthen in the summer. They're looking the real deal.
Yeah, and Dale, some job the manager's turning things around.
It's incredible, isn't it? When he came in, they were just outside that bottom 4. It's 11 points now, but like you say, it's just a point off 10th. They're in the right direction. We talked last night on the show about the home form. It's 5 games he's been here now, and they're 6, I should say, 6, and unbeaten in them all. 3 wins, 3 draws. And it looked like they always believed, even when they were behind and struggling. And I think Paul Hurst will have learned a lot about his team today, showing that character. But also, we learned how Paul Hurst notices things, how he changes things. It's easy for the likes of Mark and I sat up here, but the changes he made were crucial. Hawula coming on at the right moment was perfectly timed. Maguire's second half was fantastic. He's brought in good players, but he's also made the players that he's got here better, and that's part of the brilliant turnaround from Paul Hurst and Boston.
Thank you, guys. I'll leave you to party with the fans there. The tannoy in full effect. What a great afternoon for Boston United. Up to 12th. We'll have reaction after 5:30 here on BBC Radio Lincolnshire. We're going to do Lincoln City in a bit, but let's get across to our other feature games. And fair to say, Dave Remnant, you've had a dramatic second half. We talk about spirit, desire, character. Well, Spalding has shown plenty of it, but you're still playing, I think.
Still playing, Michael. Yeah, it's about a minute and a half of stoppage time. Jack Roberts on the ball here. He's been a big difference since he's come on. Nearly gets another one. Blimey, you'd have got a hat-trick then. Yeah, much of this encounter, Spalding looked second best, but from 2-0 down and reduced to 10 men, they showed incredible character to hopefully earn a crucial 3 points, as Harborough have only drawn with Real Bedford. Trailing at the interval, the Tulips went further behind when Cassidy's shot somehow went under keeper Wilkes' body. But many subs later, Sani pulled one back with his first touch. Top scorer Jack Roberts then with a fantastic first effort from him, running in and smashing the ball into the top corner. His second one from the penalty spot. Hopefully it's going to enable Spalding to take all 3 points here. Current score, Spalding United 3, Hales 0-2.
Dave, we'll stay with you for this moment. Just to say on the Lincoln City front, Bradford, who are in 4th, have lost 2-0 this afternoon, so they'll be 16 points behind Lincoln, and they're in 14th in the table. While we wait for the Spalding full time, we should mention Stanford, a 2-0 win at home against Leiston.
Great result, Michael. Terrific result. Lazarus Drury's doing it again, isn't he? My goodness me. 2-0. They've got a terrible run in. They've got to play all the top sides and, a really, really difficult run-in for the Daniels. And to get 3 points this afternoon, fantastic performance from them.
Yeah, they're at the drop zone with that as well. And we should say with Harborough and Rail Bedford drawing at the moment, Dave, if Spalding hold on to this lead, which hopefully they can, they will go back top of the table.
They will, yes, on goal difference. They'll go above Harborough. So, yes, just how crucial this is going to be at the end of the season. Only time will tell, Michael. But I thought they were dead and buried. 2-0 down to 10 men. And I know, it's just been crazy. It was a sort of 10-15 minute period where everything went totally bananas. But all for it.
Yeah,
lovely entertaining afternoon. Goodness me.
Absolutely, it's why we love football, isn't it? And that sounds like
there goes
full time.
The final whistle. And goodness me, I don't know how Jimmy Dean's pulse rate is, but mine's racing 10 to the dozen.
Excellent stuff, Dave. Thank you very much. Dave Remnant, we're with him for the full time for Spalding, a 3-2 win. 10 men coming back with 3 goals to win that one. That is some result. Should mention Stanford also as we go across to Graham Cow. I should just briefly mention Stanford before we pick on Bourne. Graham, out of the drop zone for the first time since the 16th of August, I'm told.
What a turnaround since Christmas. The 2 or 3 signings that Graham Drury made over the holiday period have just completely turned their season around. I think both Dave and myself would have put Stanford as absolute relegation certainties at Christmas, but now, yeah, they're out that bottom 4 and they're the form team down there and looking like they should well stay up as long as they don't mess it up in these last 9 or 10 games that they've got.
And how about Bourne this afternoon? Defeat for them?
Well, talk about messing it up, Michael. This was a game that Bourne Town should never have lost. They should have had it well and truly wrapped up by half-time. Although they went to goal down in the first minute from a corner routine that Lichfield City had been working on pre-game, Bourne came back very, very well. It took them a while to get into the game, but once Conor Fury equalised on 22 minutes, for the rest of the first half, it was all Bourne. And if they'd have been 3 goals up at half-time, there couldn't have really been any complaints from Lichfield City, as Zach Allen, Conor Fury, Lewis Darlington all had chances to have added to the equaliser. but didn't take them, and that came back to haunt Bourne in the second half. Although they took the lead on 47 minutes when Zach Allen did put one in the back of the net, Lichfield came back with a penalty on 52 minutes, stuck away by Callum Griffiths, and then a sublime goal from Jack Edwards with 20 minutes to go wrapped the game up for the visitors. Bourne for a long while in the second half didn't really do an awful lot, didn't have a lot of chances at the other end, but they did have opportunities to have snatched a point right at the death, with Robbie Ellis and also Tom Siddons in on the Lichfield goalkeeper, but Hayden Whitcomb and his defence doing enough to take home all 3 points. Bourne Town 2, Lichfield City 3.
Thank you very much, Graham. Should mention Leeds United 3-1 defeat at Concert. We'll talk a bit more about that as well a bit later on, but we'll get to your headlines.